NCRP Productions presents Fantasy Flight's Star Wars RPG, Episode 12.
Hello, and welcome to the table in a galaxy far, far away. I'll be your DM tonight, David, and we will be playing Fantasy Flight's Star Wars, Age of Rebellion, Edge of Empire, and Force and Destiny is one game. Let's meet our players, starting from my left.
Hello everybody, this is Josh. I will be playing Locke, the Zabrak bounty hunter gadgeteer.
Hey, it's Barry. I am running Grist, your squib, Shadow Sentinel.
Hi, this is Ty. I'm playing Victus, the Twi'lek Mystic Makashi Duelist.
Hello everyone, this is David. I am playing Six, the faleen smuggler pilot, captain of the Rosen Road.
All right, let's start it off like we normally do. Let's get those D12, the white dice with black and white, and tell me what we're getting, people.
Ooh, a dark side.
Got one. So starting from
Two
the
and
left.
two. Two black, two white.
Two black.
Two black, two white. Oh.
I had a black.
Oh, nice, okay.
What do we got,
white,
Grist?
I got a black.
White.
One white.
All right,
Oh man, it's perfect balance. 3 and 3 is what I'm saying.
There's balance in the force.
We brought balance to the
hate
force
it.
with our dice.
All right, guys, congratulations. Game's done. That's all you need.
You've done it.
We did it. You brought balance to the force, like no Skywalker ever
Be a
could.
great roll. Like at any time, you know.
So let's talk about some other fun mechanics before we get going. So introducing Six's backstory, her obligation to the Black Sun. The Black Sun has started to become a prominent figure in the story. So your obligation is kicking off Six, meaning that for this game going forward until our story arc is done, you will be taking -1 strain, and all your other teammates will be taking -1 strain as you're kind of feeling the pressure of your obligation and your duty.
I mean, that's one from the threat from our maximum.
One of your maximum threshold is kicking down.
Okay, so we lose the maximum strain.
We haven't met up with Black Sun yet. So
You've heard the talk, and there's
We
these.
know who we're dealing with.
You know
just
that
the fear factor.
yeah,
Just-
people,
Right.
you dealt with this background, you're kind of like, however you're choosing to handle it, either on edge or being silent, but your teammate's picking up that something about you is going off, that maybe something's bothering you, this is affecting your team. That's
This
supposed
is
to
a
represent.
permanent reduction?
No, only for the story, because it involves one of your characters pretty much having to face their background.
Okay. Black Sun's part of my background.
And so,
Glad this isn't my
Everyone's
bag
strain's
we're
reduced by
dealing
1, so mine's now 12. 12.
and so we're getting the -1 strain because
Yes.
we're all having an effect, whether we can figure it out or not. Something is wrong amongst the group.
Yeah, so
and
like-
what it is, without a game, it's the stress.
It's
of
tension,
Six.
yeah. And we're starting it off, normally DMs would roll, and they would have like a chart, and based on how high they roll, that could actually become a -2 for Six, -1 for everyone else. There's different penalties to affect like how severe this is supposed to be, and so it's on me to try to like really kind of hound and pressure you today,
And this is
make
this
you
is
feel
the current portion of the story, so it's not something that necessarily will run for the rest of the campaign, but it might run a night or 2 or 3.
Anyone who ever watches the shows, and they always have an episode about someone's past, and they're like, hey, we're going to focus on this character's story. That's what you're supposed to be feeling as the players, that you're like, hey, we have an overarching problem going on, but someone's facing personal conflict through this story. And so that's supposed to help me as the DM focus and build more character
So that's like
development.
let the Wookiee win.
Yep, perfect.
Just a really
let-
short story
Yep,
section.
let them win.
Got it.
So, with that, when we last left our crew, our team had infiltrated the Red Sand Runners and had, we're going to say, retired the current captain, Krieg, by decapitation. When faced with the remaining Red Sand Runners, you guys gave them a business proposal that they absolutely refused. Combat ensued. We learned about Victus's draw to the dark side, causing a collapsed ceiling. You guys were able to escape and boarded your ship with 6, badly wounded, but still surviving. While you guys are headed into space to kind of lay low and get lost essentially in the stars, there was some tension between Locke, Victus, and the rest of the crew about professionalism and dangers. And while you were just resting up and getting ready to go check out this destination you were given, you guys were attacked by 3 ships.
Something came up on my sensors.
Yeah, something came up on the sensors last minute.
We haven't been attacked yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I have here in my notes, now on the ship in space, we finally begin to relax. Apparently I should have put ...
So, quick question on how like unconsciousness and recovery works in this world. So, like Six was like unconscious on the floor, right? I mean, she was
Not
basically
so,
like at death's door.
Yes. So characters have wounds are strain. Strain is your mental fatigue, where wounds are like your physical
This case,
health.
this was due to wounds, due
Yes.
to physical wounds. 6 was on the floor, locked stem 6, and then 6 woke up.
Yes.
From there, we ran back to the ship. 6 started piloting. So, like, under normal circumstances, I mean, me as a player, like, I'm worried about the pilot of the ship who was just unconscious, like,
Yeah, you
20 minutes ago.
Yeah,
Is anyone else
okay.
saying sheep?
So, I mean, as you know, mechanics go, 6 may be just fine. There's no like,
Lasting
-3
effect.
for having wound penalty or anything. But from a character perspective, Locke is in the belly gun, but he's worried about 6 and probably thinking we should have a co-pilot for this situation.
Absolutely. So that's a great thing to talk about because we did have questions about health and stuff like that.
I got
So
healed. I erased all my wounds because I got healed. By
You did.
whatever
You
else.
guys stimmed and then you healed after combat. You
So
kind of
what
like,
do the stems do in this world? Do they like literally rebuild
temporary
your...
healing.
So
Like
I got stimmed by Bacta juice.
I was going to say, wasn't it back
It was the Bacta juice, yeah.
Right, but it takes a long time for a Bacta tank to heal a blaster wound. So,
So-
like you could just stim and it's done.
Per the rules, at 5 hit points for the first one, 4 for the second, 3, and that's for 1 day.
to understand the stem, so canonically it's always been back to juice, but per the game mechanic, it's actually nano machines and drugs. So what essentially happened is someone gave 6 a really cool speedball cocktail of medicine and small computer machines. So essentially when you stem her, it's pretty much rebuilding her body, giving her a great, like, what's the one that they use for people when they're injured? It's the
Morphine?
morphine. That's the M word I was looking for. It's like methadone. No,
no
morphine.
pain, no pain, accelerated healing.
Yeah, so she's getting accelerated healing. Her body is legitimately restitching itself instantaneously almost. But every time you
Chance that
do
she'll
it,
just reduce consciousness, just to lose consciousness again is pretty low.
So
Yeah.
in this world, the fuel for nanobots is morphine.
essentially,
Okay, got
it's essentially a concoction, a cocktail, and the why it
Most
reduces
of us
each
got
time.
the reference for the speedball. Yeah, we got that.
Every time it reduces, it's because there's more drug in your blood than blood. And
We
so that's why-
we hotkeyed a major healing potion to our 4
Yep.
key.
Yep.
Yeah, plunk. Gulp.
Bacta allows you to heal critical wounds. So what happened
the
is
owl.
because she went down, she could receive a critical wound. But essentially, dying comes from story-wise intense. Like, so if like I pushed you off like a starship or
Bad game masters.
I'm just trying to figure out how worried should I be.
player-wise, though your character would know that she is injured and she can probably handle it because her
I'm pretty
adrenaline's kicking up.
confident.
But you would still probably be worried because you're like, yeah, you got blaster bolted to the chest. Like there's still a very well burnt area. Like your shirt shows it. Your skin may be healing.
Hey, why are you checking out my cleavage?
Yeah, she's not trying to seduce you with the ship while it pilots. Like she has the pilot right
Just
now.
hang on and buckle up, dude. I've got enough juice left in me to pilot
She's
this
not
whole
my
couple
type
of bolts. That's what they all say.
All right. Beautiful questions, everyone. I deeply appreciate it. So, when we last left off, 6 was in the pilot seat.
Absolutely.
I believe everyone else was they all ran up to see kind of what was going on.
I immediately, once the klaxons, the alarms went off, or
Yeah.
was there alarms, or am I?
Yes.
Am I-
The sensor alarms went off.
sensor
once
kicked
that went
in.
off, I just skirted.
Well, we haven't
straight-
looked at what we should probably
No, I
understand
know,
what
but-
it is, yeah.
If we don't need me down there, then so what?
Are you
But if we do,
taking
then I'm there.
Are you taking the top gun or the bottom?
The bottom gun.
Nice.
Yes.
I mean, it doesn't really matter in
No, it
space,
does.
but
It
very
absolutely does.
You're the bottom, Josh.
Yeah. I am a bottom.
as he flips it over. Locke is not a bottom. I mean, he might be.
Stop runs to the other.
He's like, wait, I'm in the wrong gun here.
Don't put me on top. I can tell. That star is the North Star. I need the South Star.
No, I know 6 is flying style, and the belly gun is exposed to the enemy most often than not, because that's just how she does it. So.
Yeah, gotcha. So that's where 6
We're
would
gonna
have
be
headed
turning and
off.
burning.
Or
Yeah.
6 and Locke have headed off. Where would Gris and Victus have put themselves?
Well, we were all discussing it kind of in the break room when this alarm
Yeah.
came off. So I would follow 6 towards the cockpit. That would be where I'm going.
Gris?
Everyone else is following. I would follow.
Gotcha. So when you guys arrived at the cockpit, you saw what looked like another starship out across from the glass. This one, best way to describe it is, that like Apache helicopter, like slant kind of look.
Imperial?
No.
Okay, good.
It's a white kind of ship, definitely grayed from multiple entries and
Can
exits
I
out of
identify
atmosphere.
wrong side? Is there a skill check that I can make to try and identify?
You could identify this,
All
yes.
right, what skill would that be?
Give me. I could see.
Piloting.
How about mechanics?
Yeah,
thought about
I
piloting
would
at
say.
first, but-
I would say piloting or mechanics because
All right,
it's how.
piloting, I'll take it.
Like,
Piloting space. All right, so I get
Because it is a
But I would do
spaceship.
piloting. I would do piloting intellect, not piloting agility.
I would change that.
All right, cool. So I'm rolling 2 against what?
Warfare could actually give it because it's a starship that is actually a war starship.
Where's warfare?
So what do you want?
Okay, what do you want?
I would say, based on Six's personal background, I would say your piloting with intelligence would get you
All right.
this.
And then it's against a what?
This is against a 2 difficulty, so 2 purple.
I've got 1 success.
Okay. So, again, the ship you're looking at is a cloak-shaped fighter. It's an old-fashioned Galactic Republic ship. This was used during the Clone Wars. You can tell it's been modified. To give you a kind of example, it looks kind of like a helicopter with a flat top as the back, where like the tail blade would be. Looks something similar to that, like a forward gun. The big thing that you can see is on that tailboard, that flat kind of square tailboard in the back,
Heraldry.
there looks like the dot, with the black dot with the black circle around it, but it doesn't look well done, which is the Black Sun symbol. But
Black Sun, they might be pissed that we're leaving the planet without, syncing up with them. I'm going to guess. I'm going to assume the worst and go to evasive maneuvers.
as you start trying to take out...
Do we roll some type of initiative or?
So, we are going to go into initiative and how space combat works. Normally, if it's starfighters, you just treat it like regular combat. Everyone gets 1. But because you are the pilot of a larger ship, and to help everyone else be kind of included, you guys will roll your own initiative, and we will set it up just like it is, because each of you can do a different position on Six's ship and contribute to this combat in different ways. So, roll initiative, as this would be... Initiative falls under cool or vigilance. I would say vigilance for Locke, because he went straight to the guns and is ready. Everyone else, I would expect cool, because...
I don't have either one of those.
You would have seen this other ship, and all of a sudden Six is like pulling you out of the way.
All right, so we're just rolling. Okay, so I'm just rolling it.
And then, can I get a pair of my own dice, because I need to make a different initiative chart, which is how your ships will move and go.
Dice. You will not need them.
Yes, please. And then, no, I don't need any purples. My guys aren't that good at pilots. Okay, so let me start off with getting my ships in order.
Ships plural? Can you say plural?
Yeah, right.
So you saw
Did I hear that
one
too?
ship in the beginning. So you see one ship directly in front of you. Your sensors pick up one kind of underneath you, and that's what you see. So
Well, we're gonna have to blow these things out of the sky. You know, we're gonna let's go ahead and let's disable the ship so we get proper salvage rights.
So let me hear, based on your team, what are your guys' roles, starting with Locke?
I have a success and two advantage.
What about Grist?
1 success, 3 advantage.
Okay.
3 success.
I have 2 success, 1 advantage.
Okay, let me organize those for you. You do not have to go in that order, just like any regular combat. You guys can choose and change it every time a new round comes up.
So, order measured by successes?
So an order is measured by successes and then advantage. So 3
Okay, so, like,
successes
advantage
takes
the tiebreaker.
first. So 3 success first.
Lock then.
So we
6.
got, I don't know, yeah, I got 1.
2
1
success,
3,
1 advantage.
3,
No, Victus.
Victus.
6,
6,
Grist, Lock.
3, 2,
Oh,
and 2, 1.
But remember, you can choose however you want those to be. So now, rolling as the pilot of the ship, you, Six, must make me another roll, because you are now versus my...
This is a piloting roll, right?
This is still your cool roll, because we're now determining initiative for the ships. So that's...
2 success, 1 advantage.
So that would be...
So it'll just be a moment. We'll be out of this scuffle in just a few parsecs.
All right. Predicament.
Yeah.
So, to understand how this will look is the ships will be 2 enemies, yourself, and then maybe more. And when your turn goes, you guys have your own order that you can determine out of your 4 how that will go each turn.
Cool. Word.
So that way, because if someone moves the ship and you're trying to lock on target and all of a sudden you're facing the wrong way, that kind of causes that effect, and it allows you to kind of respond and do a little bit more immersive combat. So, starting off, as Six tries to turn the ship away and get you guys out of danger, the enemies
They're faster than those?
Yeah, they get to go first.
Oh, they're faster than we are.
What? This is his piloting.
And just so you know, the linked cannons are firing arc is all, damage is 6, crit is 3, and they're linked 1.
Yep. So how this will work is your 2 twin cannons should either be gunnery. You can use gunnery to fight, or you can use ranged heavy to fight.
I got both of those.
Some of those can be. There are different ones. As the ship increases in size, you can actually have turrets that are a bit heavier. Like a missile launcher can use ranged heavy, because it counts as a rocket launcher.
Like a quad.
But if you
turbo
get
laser.
like a torpedo
Quad
launcher,
turbo laser, is that a gunnery or is that a ranged heavy? situation? Because if I can get by with ranged heavy, I already have a bunch of ranged heavy, so I can just
That would be
invest in
ranged heavy.
That's good.
lesson learned.
Ranged heavy, that's
you
good.
spend
You have
points on
those,
gunnery
right?
and then.
No, it's not. They're
I thought she said.
Oh, sorry,
you said you
sorry.
could use either one.
You can use.
that's
Sorry,
my
sorry,
point.
sorry.
I invested in gunnery 1 and heavy weapons 1.
Sorry,
so-
I looked at. Sorry, I was looking at my guys. I apologize.
instead
I
of just putting
apologize.
it all in one.
My guys have gunnery heavy. I apologize. Yes, because of the type of weapon they have.
Heavy ranged should be handheld.
Yeah, that's what I understood.
Gunnery.
It would
should
be-
But
sorry.
in the
ship.
case of
Yeah,
rockets
ship. That makes
or
sense to
something
me,
like
yeah.
that, it makes sense to use heavy
Clear-
range because it's no
Dave has a clarification.
Yeah. So it will be gunnery because it is on the ship.
Gotcha.
If
Okay,
you were
that
using
makes
a
more sense.
rocket launcher on the ship, that needs the heavy because you
'cause
are
it's
personally aiming and
ballistic,
lining up.
yeah.
Yeah. That's why.
Cool.
Okay. Thank you, Victus.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. So, starting with the enemy, getting my. Can I get.
Angle the deflector shield.
You guys are in close range because they were facing forward to you. They are going to try to shoot. Can I get one more green dice? And then 2 purple.
Give me that weighted one.
Yep. Thank you.
I just got out of the oven.
So I need to talk 6 your ship. Do you have the ship's armor, shields?
I do. Of course I do.
All right.
All right.
So what shielding does your ship have? There should be forward, like starboard, aft shielding.
I've got one fore and one aft.
1 fore, 1 aft. Okay, so 1 front, 1 back.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Keep 'em-
so
keep 'em
so
behind us.
Can I get a
Or in
black
front of
black die because a shield adds black? Your armor is how much soak your ship will take if I land a
My
hit.
armor is 4.
Yep. Because we're in close range, my ship is size. What is your silhouette of your ship? How big
My
is your ship?
silhouette is 4.
Oh crap! Cool. So your ship is much bigger than my ship's.
You're basically like an X-wing against like the Millennium Falcon. It shouldn't be. I'm a medium freighter, so I'm a YT series. Correct.
Yeah.
I'm an upgrade from the 1300, but the X-wing wasn't really that much smaller than
Yeah, but
Interesting.
for its size, it had a lot more weaponry than anything.
It has more armor,
yeah.
more weaponry.
Yeah, the
so
shield generator off Star Destroyer.
the other thing is like
Working on it.
how that affects shooting is range. That affects range attack.
Cool.
That also affects so like a bigger ship. So when you're always wondering how do these
Bigger target,
starships
yeah.
miss like the Millennium Falcon because the starship is so much bigger. They're like we're shooting cannons at pretty much a fly. It's
Yeah.
really hard to hit this much smaller vehicle.
And that thing was like tumbling like a bumblebee.
Yep. Let me see. So I failed to hit, but I got 2 advantage. So let me see if I can do anything fun with that.
Just as long as you didn't hit, I'm cool.
As long as my ship's not getting destroyed.
Be a lot cooler if you didn't.
Vic just got
That's what I
real
think of
like
every time
chill
he says
during.
roll cool or anything. It's just Matthew McConaughey.
Sure, we'll be like,
Yeah.
you did.
That's your cool test. Give me your best Matthew McConaughey impression.
As soon as I get done rolling up this booger. They were making fun of him in Saturday Night Live, Jim Carrey's line. You know, the Lincoln commercials, like, as soon as I get done rolling up this booger.
That's awesome.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use those 2 advantage. So the starship, as you started to like power up your engines and like your shields and
They're
everything.
powered up. We made it into space. They're
Yeah,
powered. The ship's on.
you're kind of like idling in space because you were trying to.
We were
like,
cruising. We were at impulse
yeah,
power.
Yeah, you were trying to like stay hidden and not
Okay.
like draw a heat signature. Essentially, as you're like getting everything to full maximum and going, they fire a shot. It misses. It goes like over the top.
Whoa.
But what happens is you're like, okay, like I don't want to go north, so they're imposing 1 black on your next piloting check.
Oh, no problem.
So-
I'm a skilled jockey.
Moving forward, I will have another enemy take a shot at
Hey,
you.
whoa.
Hey, hey, hey.
Firing at the Rosen Road, dude. That's
Right.
ridiculous.
They're being jerks.
Character removes 1 black per rank of skilled jockey from all piloting. Oh,
Nice.
Yes, that's cool.
That's good.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Well, pilot, this is my wheelhouse right here. This is where I get to shine. I sure do like to talk people into ship. This is where I really shine. I mean, I'm not bad in a gunfight. I do have a 4 agility. You know?
No, but it is kind of cool from a character standpoint. Like the smuggler is sort of like a combination of the face and the rigger.
Right.
They get to do like 2 cool non-combat
Yeah,
roles
that's right.
instead of just being like limited to one thing. And it just that whole situation just kind of suddenly hit me. I was like, oh man, that's actually a pretty cool sport.
Okay. This one, so the 2 that were, the one that was in front of you and the one that was kind of above you, shot another one. Your ship, you were already getting ready to dodge and turn. This one forces a blaster missing past you.
Whoa.
What it does do, though, because I did get 3 advantage but 4 failure, set up maybe another ally that might be out there to stay on target.
An ally. One of our allies.
Yeah, what about your ally? allies.
You're talking about one of our allies or one of their
I'm
allies?
talking one of the enemies.
All right.
You have no friends out here besides what's in your ship.
All right, that's all we
So
need.
this goes now to you, the Rosenrote, and your
Okay.
crew. So your crew now can individually act in their turn order. How do you plan to go about this? Do you want to pilot first?
Well, so I guess I have questions. So,
Yeah, go ahead.
what can I do in order to put us in an advantageous spot with the ship? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what my options are.
Absolutely.
Real quick, we know that your shields are forward and aft. So
Yeah.
we know your
Front
ship
and
is a jouster, right? So
Right.
you're not trying to strafe around like a pirate ship. You're trying to go straight into them and then wheel around really fast and go straight back for them. You know what I
Just
mean?
for clarification, Josh, when our silhouette is this small, forward and after are the only spots you can have shield. There is no
Yeah.
left or right.
There isn't. Okay. I
It
didn't know
only
that.
affects when your silhouette gets
So we
five.
can't be shot from the left or right without.
If you, are,
you
it
have-
counts as front.
Essentially,
Oh.
your ship is so
Well, in that
small,
case,
the
it doesn't
shield.
matter. You can just
But-
do whatever you want.
But that was a very good, important thing to bring up, and that's very much Vindictus appreciated to help that clarification. Your ship is so small that the shield encompasses everything.
Okay.
But as you get bigger, your shield
do
will only
have-
be
that is a factor.
and that
Right
becomes
now,
something
it's
an
not a factor.
engineer can do is move the shield around.
So
Is there something that I can do in order to either A, make it harder for them to hit us when firing, or give my gunners
Evasive maneuvers.
a bonus to their actions with the gunnery?
So things you can do, you can try to get farther away. The farther away you get, the harder it is to hit. You should have maneuvers that a pilot can perform. Trying to get to that.
Like full throttle, things like that.
full
right?
throttle,
Yeah.
things like
Yeah,
that.
kinda got- yeah.
Like things like stay on target, which allow me to get more blues
Yeah,
when I'm
target.
attacking.
Stay on target.
Yeah.
I've got full throttle and
control
improved full throttle. So improved full throttle says character may voluntarily suffer one strain to attempt full throttle as a maneuver. In addition, the difficulty of full throttle is reduced to average, which is just 2. But going full throttle, what does that really do for me?
So essentially, when you're going full throttle, your speed of your ship is what?
The speed is 3.
So that means you're moving 3, and full throttle allows you to add 2 more movement to that as you're kind of like slamming on.
And what does that do in game terms as far as like,
It's
does it make it harder
puts-
for them to hit me?
It puts distance between us. The issue is, are my ships able to keep up with yours? Because I might fall behind, and you can outrun me.
I'm not necessarily trying to outrun you yet because I'd like to, I want to dodge and give my gunners a chance to take out the
Captain,
targets.
I'm locked and loaded in the underbelly. Give me a good angle here.
So what that does now is allow you to use 5 movement to turn your ship around and position yourself. So if you move, I can reveal more characters, more enemies. You can position yourself, maybe put all 3 on one side of you, or 4 or 5.
That's what the full throttle is going to allow me to do.
It allows you to think of it as your character's movement. You
Okay.
get to move around the map.
So I'm going to go full throttle. That's the first thing, to give myself more movement. So now, do we want to do the ship first and then the gunnery? Or
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm making a
You'll make a
piloting
piloting.
space, okay? So I get
Yep.
Yeah, the way
This-
I'm seeing is that you're lining up the shot. I'm telling you which gun I'm in, and I'm hoping someone
And
less
then don't
qualified
forget
is
to
in the
add
other
your
gun.
black, because remember, they're shooting
I'm
at
still
you.
jockey, so that removes that.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. God, yeah, God, that's rough.
So I've got 1 threat, 1 failure, and 1 triumph.
His net is a triumph, a failure,
Yeah,
and a
two bad things in a good
Yes.
thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you would succeed because the triumph counts as a success critical,
Okay.
which you can do fun little things with that. Specifically, you can ignore penalized terrain or stellar effects, like if you're flying too close to a sun or a star. Piloting the ship, you can perform 1 pilot-only maneuver, so you can use another maneuver. Or actually, you couldn't because you've already used.
So now my speed is 4 because I'm full throttled it, right?
So your speed was 2 to
It
start.
was my speed was 3.
3, and so it bumped it up. It should bump it up
4.
to 5 because it's 2 extra points, I believe.
No, it's 1.
What you could do, this one would work for you because I have declared that I have another ship declaring stay on target. You can use your critical success to force a target ship to veer off, breaking my maneuver.
I'll have them.
So
So
it's-
okay, I'll
yeah.
break that. Yeah.
So what that would look like then is these ships are blasting at you. You pretty much punch in, like fly through them, causing them to like give up their formation. Maybe
All right. Hit
I
the brakes
like
and
it.
fly right by.
you fly right
rad.
by. You turning the ship around because you got enough movement to like.
Yep, and I'm going to swing this thing around so that my gunners have clean shots.
Okay. As you turn the ship around, you can see that you were kind of tri-pronged. You had 1 in front of you, 1 above you, and then 1 kind of under you.
Right.
That's why your sensors were failing to pick up a 3rd one.
We got 3 bogeys.
All right.
3
So your
bogeys.
pilot went. Who wants to go next?
What do you want me to do?
Take down the closest one.
With what?
Man the weaponry.
Wait a minute,
I'm coming in over the
Oh,
comm.
you're in the
Yeah.
cockpit with me.
Yeah.
So is
you
there
two-
anything he can do to like assist, like
N-
in piloting?
Sorry, Locke, you
Grist?
got something?
Locke is in the gun. He's not even able to see the scene. But if what Grist says is over the if it's over the comm link, then he says get to the lasers.
Well, the lasers are banned. Locks
No,
Either one laser is banned. Is
Oh,
on.
okay.
two
you're
of
the
our
other
4
one.
lasers
Oh,
are manned.
Oh, okay, yeah. Somebody needs to go down and man the 4 twin lasers.
I hold up
It's
my
not
hand
4
for rock,
twin
scissors,
lasers.
rock
It's-
paper,
it's
scissors.
two-
No,
you
it's the
have
four, there's a 4
there's
and an
a-
aft. There's a 4 and an aft.
No. There's a top and a bottom.
a dorsal and a ventral.
Oh, sorry, dorsal and ventral, not a 4 and an aft.
Each
Dorsal and
side has
ventral, yeah.
360 degrees,
Yeah,
so as
got
long
it.
as you're like splitting the difference, we can both shoot at the same target.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fine.
But
Yeah.
if you're upside down or downside up, then we only one of us.
So
will-
I want to make sure that both
Yeah.
you can fire. I want to
Because then you can add linked, and that makes that real.
So yeah,
dangerous.
what is link? How does link?
So-
can we talk about that?
Yeah, let me.
But to say one of you
let's-
needs to go,
We'll
in
do
the
that
other
when we
gun.
do
Yeah,
shit.
in the other gun.
So-
Whoever's got the gunnery skill. Yeah.
We'll put a pause and link to answer that for the viewers and for us. So going back to your team, can people do things? So there are different positions in the ship to help make sure players are all kind of involved in this action. There's a pilot, there's a co-pilot. So right now you can see them, but as you're going through, you're trying to fly. Like you're doing the driving thing, like looking back, doing all the stuff. Your co-pilot, your astrogator, is pretty much telling you that, hey man, our radar's picking someone up behind you because you can't look back and see a rear view mirror. So they're telling you where everyone's at. That gives you bonuses like blues and things like
Nice.
that to spot it. Otherwise you're flying with blacks. Because pretty much you're like, I don't know where people are, I'm just seeing the blasters, and I'm trying to avoid. People can do mechanic checks, so when your ship is injured, someone can run around and go and repair it, because your system can take damage and strain, and that will also penalize you. There's gunners, there's...
Chris, you're mechanics,
Yeah.
right?
There's a
can do
lot
it
that you
all.
can do.
Chris
You
and
should,
myself
you should
can
stay here
both-
in the cockpit with me, and then Locke, you should go, or Victus, you should go man the other laser cannon.
Yeah.
I nod and I.
I kind of defeatedly put my hands down for rock, paper, scissors.
Oh, sorry. Unless you guys want to rock, paper, scissors. But I think with your mechanics capability, in case we take a hit, and you can help me pilot.
So, sit here.
Yeah, sit there.
Put on the headset.
Grab the-
Tell me
grab
what's
the wheel.
going on.
Grab
So you
the
put
wheel.
on those cool old piloter
Put on the
helmets,
headset, yep.
and we're like, all right, like let's look. So you're pretty much seated next to them, and you're seeing a lot of charts go
Dead
off.
dolphin headset.
So do you want to start telling people where things are at? Because your ship's big enough that you can still act. You were right there. You're pretty much just seated.
God, that looks really painful, Six.
So if you're gonna check on where everyone's at and kind of
Sure.
get readings of their ships, their
So hold on,
layout.
I got little blue squiggles, and there's a green dot here.
Watch out for the green squiggle. That's the worst
He's
one.
like playing asteroids over there.
And my crew is one pilot, one co-pilot / engineer.
So are you gonna try to help him pilot, or are you gonna try to help read the enemy ships?
I'm going to read the enemy ships.
Okay, then
I don't
that
know what we're doing for piloting. Six just threw us around.
that would fall
I
under.
imagine this thing coming around, it's like, then punch.
Give me, because you're trying to read the machine. I would say give me astrogation as you're trying to plan. Like, are you trying to plan a course? Or are you trying to like line up the turrets for him? What are you trying to do?
I envision that he would just be trying to figure out what he's looking at. So I could say,
All right, then
there's
give
one
me-
here, there's one here, there's one
You
here.
have pilot, right? You
Yeah.
have piloting skill, so you know.
No, I don't have the skill.
Okay, then never mind.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then if you're trying to see what the ships are in front of them and tell them kind of like what their damage is, then give me warfare.
Warfare.
Because you're trying to read these are militarized, old
Because
militarized.
that's what
ships.
a land-based squib from a hut village would know what he's doing.
Hey, you've been around some ships. Someone might know.
Yeah, all right, all right.
Don't you have to
Wow!
roll-
This
don't
would
you
be
have to roll some
it's two,
purples?
yeah. You got to roll some purples in there. So
Darn.
two purples.
Dang, nice roll, dude. Oh, dang.
Did he?
So,
I have,
there went
I
the-
have one failure and one advantage.
One failure, one advantage. All right. Yeah, those are starships in front of you, definitely.
So looks to me like we got 3 of them out here. There's one near the. So where are you at, Locke?
I'm in the gun.
The-
Can you get a lock
Are
on
you,
the
are you
I'm
in the
one of the-
dorsal or
is that
the
done?
ventral?
Yeah.
he's in the
Oh,
ventral.
he might- so he's in
Oh,
the-
that's a good idea.
he's in
Lock
the
one.
ventral.
Is
So,
that what
yeah,
you went?
so he's
That's not what you went.
in the bottom, and then
So with a failure, I'm assuming I can't really tell him that, but with the advantage,
So spinning advantage as a pilot with one advantage, add blue to the next
Oh, hey, I'm
characters,
gonna add a
piloting,
blue-
gunnery, computer,
I'm
or
going to add a
mechanics.
blue 2 locks.
Nice.
Because I'm going to try. Because at least I know where he is. I know the Victus isn't
So
there yet.
you're basically like helping me with assisting. You're assisting me with getting a lock on this target.
There are other things you can spend that one advantage on, such as noticing a single important point in the ongoing conflict, such as a fatal flaw in an enemy ship's course or a
that's
weak
pretty
point
cool.
on an attack speeder.
Yeah, at this point, I'm going to give him the one blue for
Gotcha.
now because I know he's there, and I can see that one of the green squiggles is right by him.
Locke, look at that guy. Look at that squiggle.
Get a lock! Get him!
Get it. Okay. So yeah, you have given the advantage to Locke, the blue to Locke. All right. Do you guys want Locke or do you want
Yeah,
Victus
go ahead and do
next?
lock. Victus is still figuring out what he's doing.
Okay.
No, I'm on my way to the
Yeah,
the
Victus
dorsal
is
column.
running.
So do you guys want to do, because essentially you'll be able to move to the turret, the other
So
turret,
yeah, so you need to
and
go
fire.
first so you can then link.
Link is different.
Yeah,
Link
Link
is
is
different.
just your own
Link
guy.
is the twin.
So-
like each of our pair is linked.
There's
not to
two
one
different turrets
another.
with 2 barrels each, and so what he does is you're essentially firing, and unlike
I thought you
most,
said that they could link up.
no, what happens is when you get a success, when
like
you're able to
shooting
get the
one for both,
advantage,
yeah.
you free hit again.
Okay.
It takes
So-
2 advantage.
Yeah.
Two advantage, and you
Yeah.
can
So yeah,
basically
go
hit
Locke.
for free again.
So we'll do Locke, and then you'll do it. It'll look essentially the same time frame.
What's the
That's what I want to make
so
sure.
Locke is trying to hone in on the target that was identified by Grist on his screen and get a lock on that target. And
So you see 3 of these like white, almost Apache style kind of ships, like the Apache helicopter kind of build, that like egg-like nose with the tail
So
back.
disable if you can. That way we can salvage.
You see the black circle with the black dot with the black circle around it, but it looks
they'll be
poorly
disabled already.
placed on. But that looks like a nice target, man.
yeah, I think the black circle cockpit. I think that's
So one of them would still be, so like you went out and then turned around. One of them would be close. The other 2 would be within short difficulty.
I'm shooting at the one that Grist gave me, so I hope that's the close one.
Shoot the easiest target, yeah.
Yeah, the one right in front of you.
Yeah.
There's 3, but shoot the one.
Yeah.
All right.
So do I add purple?
Yes, so this will be 2 purple because you're shooting, even though your ship's bigger, it is not as much of a variance of silhouette as I was worried about. So it's still 2 purple for the distance that you were shooting.
Cool.
And don't forget that you get to add a blue from what
it.
Grist has given you.
Cool.
Hang on a second, 1 second before you roll.
Well done.
I
I'm gonna start
have
subtracting.
take 1 black because I have shields on my ship as well.
So all of my successes were eliminated by failures. I got absolutely everything's
Neutral.
washed.
So wait, it didn't do anything.
Doesn't hit. Doesn't hit.
I'm
So I'm guessing you didn't get
I'm,
a lock.
I'm walking my lasers to the ship, so it takes a second to
You hear that? It's that like the seats turning and the
it's
things
all-
like. Blast him. Victus makes it to the top dorsal
say
turrets,
it's
turns
done.
around.
My 2 purple
Total
gave me,
of 1 advantage.
my 2 purple gave me 4 failures.
Would you like to give blue to one of your teammates?
Yeah, I'm gonna give blue to 6.
Alright,
Kind of gives him
pilot.
tracer
Yeah,
fire.
that's exactly what I was thinking.
Okay.
At least show him where the bad guys are, so she can avoid them.
So your blasters are going off. Again, your ships are just
Hold on.
wide enough.
So
hits
Victus
on the
didn't hit
first
either,
laser?
right?
I mean-
Because there's still 3 green squiggles here.
You always see you got the target, and you got the lasers, and then you walk the lasers to the target. You don't just start shooting once you're on
Right,
the target.
you're never a
You
one
have to,
shot.
you have to lead it.
yeah,
Yeah,
don't
these
forget.
things
You
are-
remember you
They
gotta
can the shatter, just hit the ship.
you gotta line up the ire sight. Then you gotta line up the magnetic like heat
Right.
sight. Like, trust me, man. There's like 6
gotta
scopes
see
you gotta get
how-
together.
How the lasers are going, the trajectory, and
Yeah,
what
they
the
curve.
ship's
Life
doing.
curves in space,
Yeah.
man. You gotta be careful.
Yeah.
It's a lot harder
Black
than it
hole.
looks, Grist. Damn it.
It just they're not even moving as far as this screen is.
Going to my 3rd enemy who was going to stay on target. He's going to move. This ship actually moves quite fast. It's able to get closer to you. It's trying to get under you again.
Oh, that's
Let's
my
see.
world.
Let's see if he. So you see, Locke. You see this ship trying to like come up and like it's diving down and then pulling up towards you. Let's see if it can get there. I got 1 success, 1 critical.
Oh god.
So
you add the
black for your.
black die for my excellence in piloting.
Ooh, give me another black die. Let me see if that can take away that other success. It did not. So, hey, it's always good. Thank you for reminding me. I appreciate it. Making sure I have the correct dice pool is very important. So I'm going to activate my linked quality and deal 10 damage to you, minus your
I guess they hit on
armor
the first shot.
What is the soaker armor for the ship?
4. So that means I would take 6
to your hull damage.
How much hold do we
bad.
have?
25. So how much? At what point do like bad things start happening?
So right now, because I got a critical,
This is the
Dude,
moment.
great
This is when bad
question.
stuff starts
This
happening.
is shit hit the fan immediately. So let me see. Do you have a 2d10? I need to roll me a d100.
Well, I'm not going to 2d10. Can I flip one of these to be like, you know what? I strangely dodged that blaster bolt, and it grazed me instead.
What I'll say is, I'd say it's still going to critically hit to honor the critical mechanic.
Yeah, that's not
But I
really
will-
that.
So that
but-
changes something. So, like, if there was an asteroid in space, we could get around. That
I would say what I would allow that to do is take the reduced damage. So instead of taking the 10, activating my link, I just hit you with my base,
Which is what?
which would have been 5 damage. So
That means
minus,
I'd only take 1.
yeah. But the critical is still hitting, so it hit, and it hit someplace important.
Do we want to use the?
Not
no?
yet.
Okay.
I think we can find a better narrative use for it.
So for 63, shields failing. Reduce defense in all defense zones by 1 point until the critical hit is repaired. If the ship or vehicle has no defense, suffer 2 points of system strain.
And is the defense soak?
Defense is the actual
Shields
it's your
minus
shield.
1, so now we're at 0 shields.
So
Rest your time to shine.
Yeah, now your time. Go. I need you to go. I need you to go fix the shields.
What?
So
took a direct hit to the shields.
Yeah, all of a sudden
We're-
you hit the
we're
ship
running-
shakes. You guys
we're running
feel it
wide
shake.
open. Yeah.
You actually see some like electrical sparks come out, and it's whoop 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 whoop,
Right.
indicating as you see the ship like where the blue like ring was around your ship. It's flashing red now, like indicating that you're like crap. I need to find where the shield generator was. And
Hop
start
out of
getting
my
the
chair.
repair.
you
There's
go,
all
yeah.
the Renats running to the escape
Yeah,
pods.
yeah.
What the hell? Yeah, when did they get on here?
Who did this?
Just full of gnats.
Don't worry, boss. We got this.
What are Renats?
Those were the womp.
Oh,
the
those
mutant-
things. Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
The rats
yes, yeah,
from
the
the-
rat things. Yeah,
All right.
that's right.
So that goes now back to the top as my 2 ships use their movement to try to again circle you. Let's see if they kick off. They still have the black based on your excellent piloting.
Yeah.
I don't know how much more the ship can take.
Oh, she'll hold together. Come on, baby, hold together.
Just give me a shot. Just give me a shot. Just give me a shot.
So 1 failure, 2 advantage for the first pilot as his
sounds
ship
like
comes
our
up. He's essentially again they're trying to pin you. This seems to be like a tactic they maybe have. He's going to give a blue to his teammate. Can we get a blue dice, please?
Ooh. Okay.
Thank you, sir. He's gonna pass. The second ship comes up. He tries to circle around, and he passes the blue along to his friend.
Okay.
Because clearly he's the one who can hit. These guys are supporting the third ship, so you're again
So
surrounded.
I would say let me get to the shields first.
All right, go for it. Yep.
Right.
So I run down.
Yep, easily enough to get to. You're gonna roll a mechanic
Is it
check.
apparent to us who the main assist is in this situation, or was that like something you just said out of character?
This is for the viewers to see how the ships are like acting. You as players, as characters, wouldn't know. If someone uses their advantage, they could say, "Hey, like that ship seems to be the lead." That may be because you guys are seeing them move around.
For what I missed, did they like come in from both sides of us?
One came one came under, one came on top, and then the one came direct ahead to help like pinch them.
They're keeping up public
There.
relations.
They're making sure that you don't leave here undisturbed. Their ships, from what you can see, and definitely from the gunner seats, their ships are a bit faster than your guys's.
Not outrunning these.
Just a little bit.
I got a few tricks up my sleeve.
Yeah.
I mean, unless we jump to light speed, right?
I'm gonna hit the E-brake. It's gonna spin us around 180, dude. And when it is, you take the shot.
Got it.
So Grist, as you show up, you can see that the shields there's loose wires hanging, there's steam and smoke coming out of one. You're going to perform a manual repair.
I could do it digitally, but
Sadly, no.
Wishful thinking.
This will be a 3 difficulty repair. So 3 purple. Don't forget, remember, you have tools and equipment that may give advantages, may give certain
I
benefits.
personally have a vibro knife and a med kit.
Hydro
It's not
sphere.
legal.
Don't forget, remember, you have your tool
tool belt.
kits, and you also have your mechanical spray that allows you to repair hull traumas.
Is that like
But
the?
this
Is
is
that
not
like
a
the
hull
sun?
trauma.
Is that like
The-
the? It's like the FIFA aerosol spray.
Yeah, you got the foam spray.
I'm running out.
I don't have any kind of tools.
He's got a can
on
of
my
Flex Seal.
character.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
That's a lot of damage.
He just slaps it on there. Well,
I'm gonna
brand
need the
new.
whole can for this.
In 2
Yeah,
easy
man.
steps, I'm gonna repair this ship.
Check this out. What I'm talking about, yeah.
So
I built this entire
I
starship
don't have
on
any
a Flex
tools.
Seal.
Gotcha. So,
Unless there was something on the ship that I don't know about, I have to go with this.
okay, so your character doesn't have any repair toolkits, is
No.
what you're telling me.
No.
Do you
The
remember?
belt contained.
Do you,
It's a load-bearing belt. if I have to move shit, I can really move it.
Do you remember that inside your straps, your little vestment that KR gave you, there was that foam?
Right, but I'm not using the foam cast
you
to
don't
fix
want-
the shield.
You sure?
I'm going to use the foam cast to fix the shield. Here, just screw it. We don't need any of these
Guys,
ones.
guys,
Pitch
just
it flat. Yeah,
I
pitch
imagine-
it flat. Man.
Conductive, it'll work.
I just imagine you like push all the cords into
Right,
it,
it's
seal
like-
it up. You're like, that's good. The intestines are
like
good.
silly string.
Yeah.
All these conduits.
What happened here? Oh
We're
my
good.
god!
We're good.
Wow, grist happened. That's what happened.
Hey,
We're good.
He like makes a nest in there. Just like shreds of newspaper stuffed in there.
I just
Hey,
imagine.
hey,
Yeah,
Six is like, get on those shields. What's going on? He's just like, spray. Yeah, it's all good, Captain.
I think I got it. Yeah.
So there's not a tool specifically. I'm going to go with
Okay,
this.
so yeah, I'm gonna say add a black then, because if you're just doing this barehanded, trying to like link parts together, and
I don't envision that he knows anything else, but he's
I don't have any tools.
You know what?
I mean, you
Flip
have
one of the whites to
mechanics.
black.
There
There's
we
a
go.
tool
There we
kit
go.
on the way down.
Here
All
we
right.
go.
You
Now
got
what?
tools, dude. You got
Yeah, you
tools.
do. All
I
right.
guess
So
I
as
just
the
give him a
mechanic,
blue?
you have to. Yeah. So take her out of that black, and you should have a blue because your
There you
tools
go.
should assist
Yeah,
with
you're
like
mechanic. You need
with like
tools.
plasma laser cutting
Tools
and all
mechanic.
that. Yeah.
Oh my god.
I don't have any tools.
matter.
So
I don't know
I
what I'm
have
doing.
3 failures. It's hot! And I have 4 advantages.
3 failures.
Son of a bitch! Everything is blowing up in here.
He's like, thank God it's worse. I'm sorry.
Guys,
Hold on. Some of this stuff is actually live.
Right.
Hold on.
This is like in Indiana Jones' Last Crusade when the dad shoots the tail. Oh, sorry, son. They got us.
Yeah, that was awesome.
But it's grist that made it worse. Oh, looks like they shot
Oh
us
man,
again.
they hit us again. We didn't see any later.
That's funny. Yeah.
I'm sorry, son.
The tail rudder.
They got us.
The machine gun. Yeah.
all right. So you got
Backup shield generator
Not
just
battery.
exploded, you guys. I have no idea what caused that.
So you had 2. So sorry, 2 failures, 4 advantage.
4 advantage.
Oh God. So let's talk about this, Chris. How do we think this should work?
All
How
right.
does
So I know realistically I should have made it worse. But the 4 advantages, so
you failed up. That's the funny thing.
so maybe I didn't fix the shield to where the shield comes back up, or I fixed the shield to where it's not sparking, damaging, and it's not getting worse.
Rerouted power to the guns.
Yep.
You know what? For 4, because that's a lot. You know what? Let me look real fast.
What does
I want
what
to
do
do
allow me? Negate
So
enemy
3
defense bonus, ignore penalized environmental effect, such as impairment.
I would, because of 4 success, if you use every single one of them,
Advantage, yep.
4 of your advantages, I would allow you to help.
Give a blue die to everyone else.
I mean, you could, but I'm going to say, like, mechanically, essentially what you did is you didn't power up the shields, you didn't fix them, but essentially you rerouted all power away. You're pretty much like, no, this is going to keep burning me. Like, redirected all power to everyone else, so everyone else gets a blue as your turrets are going in overdrive, the engine's in overdrive. You're pretty much, you're like, look, if we just get rid of life support, we'll be fine. Like, we don't need this.
No, he got a blue for you.
Oh yes,
And then he'll have,
You
so
have 2
everyone's
blues.
going to have an extra blue.
Yep.
All right.
Beautiful. So,
All right. I'm still working on it. I've got it. But you should have something. We're okay.
Are the alarms still going off?
Yes.
and
Because
with
I haven't turned those off.
around Grist, there is, you guys just,
they
you
were
don't
automated.
hear it, but Grist is down there screaming just like, it doesn't stop.
All right, so now I fly.
So now you want to fly.
Now,
Okay.
Now I fly.
Getting it out of there
All
again?
these extra dice. Here we go, baby. Come on, no whammies.
What are you doing? with
Are you
them?
going to pull your maneuver again
Yep.
and boost it?
There. So I've got 4 successes and 1 advantage.
So are you...
Let me
Is
see
this
what I can
another
do with
full
that.
throttle?
No, I'm just maneuvering, I guess. Let me see
Sure.
here. So there are 4 successes and 1 advantage.
The advantage, you can throw a blue die to somebody else.
I'm gonna throw a blue die back to Locke, who threw me 1 earlier. For his
Victus?
gunnery.
You mean
Or
Victus?
Victus, for his
Sweet.
gunnery.
Thank you.
And then I've got 3 successes. So my 3 successes, so you said I've got 1 ship above me and 1 ship below me,
Yeah,
right?
and then one that was
So
coming
I'm
in.
gonna hit the brakes and spin a 180 to give both my gunners like super close range with their
Ooh.
gunnery.
Okay.
Right, so I basically flipped around and hit the brakes, so I basically
So
hit the e-brake and spun the sucker around, so they've got a
you-
clean shot.
You drifted in. So is that the
Yeah.
like, is that the one where you see like
Yeah.
when people like pull out both guns, shoot
yeah,
sideways?
exactly.
That's so you guys like. So would you tell? I would say, would you tell your team? You're like, guys, prepare for this.
Yeah,
Or,
I'm gonna hit the brakes. It's gonna spin us around. Wait for the shot. Hang on, boy, dude.
Chris, you might want to belt your utility belt as you get flung around.
I found something for the foam to be.
Yeah.
And I swing the ship around so these guys can take their shots.
Beautiful.
Yeah, you're gonna definitely
I
hear
like-
me thump around there because there's nothing I can belt to.
You probably
Oh,
hook
there's
anchor
totally-
you probably
there's
anchor
totally
yourself
little,
to the
like-
hull or
like
something,
handle
fuselage
things.
or
That
something.
would shoot my harness. I just
Yeah.
put my harness like
You're pretty much Bunko Broncoing
Right.
inside the ship. Yeah.
Yeah, you're agile a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I definitely am that.
Got it. Okay. So you're passing that off. So definitely major movement. Reposition yourself to allow both targets to get close range.
Blast
All right.
them.
So who wants to shoot first?
Yeah, I'll shoot. So Locke wheels around with a 180 in the turret because now we're facing the opposite direction. It's like the whole turret just kind of like shakes, and as he rotates around and lines up this like shot where the ship's coming straight at him, and Six and he was thinking to himself like, okay, yeah, I guess this is a pretty good shot.
Locke, to understand how close you are, as your ship turns around, you are looking through the glass at the other pilot. What you can see is that they're wearing like the red leather jacket. This looks to be like
Oh, the Red Sun Runners.
that might be what why it's so crappily drawn up there. Is so like you're sitting there, he's just like sitting there like holding the like stick. He's like like eyes wide, like what the.
Like I want to smile and wave to him.
This is the Top
Gun.
Gun.
Exactly. You gotta flip them up. What were you doing down there? Locke, I was keeping up public relations.
Giving him the bird.
Yep.
I'm teaching them about intergalactic sign language.
What range? Yeah, but
Yeah.
computers.
All right.
Oh,
Yeah. Go for that shot.
it's
So
right.
you have the.
Because I was in
I have a blue die from
I'm
6.
just so
Yeah.
sick.
Do I have what's my difficulty?
Your difficulty will move down to 1 due to closeness.
Nice.
And you still have the blue from Grist. Did anyone else give?
I gave him a blue.
You gave a blue to.
No, I gave the blue to Victus.
Yeah, I gave him a
So I
blue.
have 1 blue.
Okay.
Cool.
Nailed
All right,
him.
boys.
Nice.
Don't forget the black for my character shield.
Oh.
Sorry, my ship does still have some type of defense.
So I got a hit and 1 advantage. Is what a hit and 1
A successful movie,
1
right?
despair. I got a hit and 1 despair.
Despair.
Threat.
Yeah.
Threat. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yes, a hit and 1 threat. Thank you, Barry.
Okay.
I know, like you're reading these really quickly, and it puts the
Yeah.
pressure on because
Yeah.
I'm like trying to figure out what Barry already knows. And I'm just like, man, what did I do? No, it's 1 hit and 1 threat.
So you hit him, but he's really close.
But he
So-
explodes.
I
in
should have
face.
taken the time to flip him off. Damn
Alright,
it.
so what is your damage?
The damage of the gun is 6, but it's link 1.
Okay, so but it didn't link because you didn't have the advantage to link.
Right.
So it does 6 damage.
How do you get the
Right.
link?
You got to get 1 advantage.
okay.
1
Yeah.
2 advantage.
You gotta get
Have
2
a
advantages.
net
So
of 2.
Yeah.
Net of 2 advantage.
And if you have a higher link, so if you had like link
like-
2, you could do that twice for 4 damage.
If I had both hands on the gun, I probably would have got him with the link. But instead, I just had 1 hand on the gun while I was flipping him
Keep it
off.
up, burn. Yeah,
Turn and burn.
It's all about the style points.
Yeah, it is. Fashion souls.
Yeah.
essentially what happens, how I would imagine this works, because I'm going to use that disadvantage you gained. You, as you turn, see him, he's like panicking. You blast. The shield like takes it. His ship kind of like turns. It pretty much, you flashbanged both of yourselves from how close the laser bolt hit. And so what that will do is essentially I'm going to activate the character's active ship or vehicle suffers 1 strain. Nice. So your ship is taking 1 damage as essentially it's trying to reroute.
Oh, do we take a damage?
Not a hull, a strain.
A little
A
close
strain,
there,
okay.
6.
Yeah, is essentially your ship is trying to recalibrate itself to keep the shields that are now down. It's trying to repower those up. It's trying to like make sure the turrets are like at full blast. It's trying to like calibrate to how close you are. It's like, wait a second, it's like good hit.
Now,
good hit.
can you use an advantage? Because you can use an advantage to heal a strain on a person. Can you use it to heal a strain on the ship?
Not for this one.
Okay.
When you actually land, this is a big thing for when you guys get out of combat. Ship repair is incredibly slow, incredibly expensive, and really hard. That's why you have the benefit of knowing people, knowing mechanics, and doing self-repair.
Yeah. Got to have Chewie working on the Falcon
Yeah.
while
Essentially,
Han goes
it's-
into
Always
town.
take shit apart.
It can
Yeah.
be
Hey,
anywhere
take this stuff
between
apart.
500 and up, like 500 on a good planet, to heal 1 hull damage of a ship.
Oh, man, we just took 6.
Yeah,
Wait,
See the
how
money
long
flat.
That's right.
it takes 500 plus crit.
We've
to
got
heal
one whole point
damage.
left as much as having 100. It just the only thing matters when we go to 0. Then we'll start to worry.
Yeah,
Yep.
no, because don't remember, you have someone who can repair it. So you got your second turret going off.
There we go.
Let's see who he's hitting.
Blow him out of the sky.
Get him. Knock him out the box, Luke. Knock him out.
So
One
like,
success 4 advantage. I'm going to spend the 2 advantage to do linked.
Yes.
So I'm going to do
Actually,
12
you
damage.
have 5 advantage.
Oh, thank you, Barry. I have 1 success, 5 advantage. I will spend 2 of that advantage to activate linked,
Okay, so
and I will spend the other 3 to critical him.
Nice.
Is that the crit rating for the?
So,
It is crit 3 for our guns.
So
Right.
let me roll. Would you like to roll the detail?
I would love to. Thank you
And
very
tell
much.
me-
I appreciate the honor.
Nice.
All right.
Awesome job.
51.
So 51.
So yeah, 12 damage plus the critical.
Thank you so much. All right, so 51 for the critical. Component hit. One component of the attacker's choice is knocked offline and is rendered inoperable until the end of the following round.
Yes.
For a list of ship components, there's different parts. So
Let's see
you
where
can
our
you can
options are.
shield, weapon, piloting,
They're
engines.
probably.
Engines,
How
yeah,
much
yeah,
damage
sit
did you
nuts.
deal again? Just
12.
12. Mhm.
Boom.
10,
So the twin link brings it from 4 to 12.
No, our damage is 6.
from 12.
It doubles
because
it.
it doubles it. Right.
It doubles that damage. It's a free
I don't know where
second
the
hit.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
If you have a tri-barreled gun, that would be 18 damage.
Yeah. Link gets real
What kind of
mean.
weapons are they shooting at us with?
So you guys are shooting double. These guys are shooting doubled blasters as well, but they are smaller caliber. Where you guys have like heavy blasters,
blow that
these are
gun off so
light
they can't shoot
blasters.
at us.
These guys don't get to use
then
gunnery;
they-
they can use heavy.
Yeah, we do want
instead.
to salvage that shit. Yeah.
So-
although if you don't blow the guns off, then they're still shooting at us. you
So
know.
Victus, tell me how this is going down because this ship
you.
has 1 hull damage left.
Oh my god.
You blew up like so. What are you hitting? How is this going wrong?
I mean, is life support an option to hit?
You know what? Let me pull
Because I
up.
would love to just
That's
have
brutal.
the. Yeah, I would
They
like to.
freak out and just jettison into
Yeah,
a
no,
escape
it's like
pod
it
and
doesn't
leave that
matter.
thing.
Like your ship's
Yeah.
still fine, but it doesn't matter because you're dead. So
Right. Well, that's my thought process. Is
that was my thought. Shoot the cockpit and
Right.
blow a hole in the glass, and then like
Fuck
the
that
ship's
in
fine,
space.
but they're
It's all
screwed.
quiet. It's just
I
all
was told by 6 that we wanted salvage, and I get the job done.
Yeah, that's
critical.
that's pretty tactical.
If nothing else, what we can do
So,
is put parts to fix ours.
A small ship
Yeah.
can have a support droid, an ejection system, a weapon system, sensors, comms, sublight engines, hyperdrives, and shields.
Does he have a support droid? Shoot the R2.
So remember, these ships are like the Apache. So inside there's a computer droid that's just welded.
No, I'm
that's not as
gonna shoot his sublight engines then. I don't,
They can't
No,
go
you can't
anywhere.
go nowhere.
Yeah. So essentially, they cannot. Yeah, because
Can't
of the
pilot it.
speed of this ship. Well, I mean, if you move, he essentially you blew out his tires. He can't fly.
Right.
So it means he can't activate hyperdrive because he can't get fast enough
Well,
to
because
brake.
in space though, he's going to continue moving at the same velocity.
All right, you stop this, Victus. We don't need real science in Star Wars.
That's true.
I have a
Fair.
light sword that ends at a certain point because that's how light works. Doesn't continuously travel.
Fair point. Point
All right.
taken.
So your ship blasts his sublight engine. So as he's kind of like turning to avoid, he turns the ships up. Boom, blows the engine out. You can see smoke kind of, and it's just kind of listing in space.
I was kind of imagine that the force users with their lightsabers could make their blades longer, but it was like an honor thing where it's like, hey, you know,
So in this game, there's actually rules for that.
Yeah.
But it's a modification for your lightsaber. You adjust the power frequency of your lightsaber and adjust the length of it. And so a lot of duelists will do that so that they can mess with their length in the middle of a duel.
There's
Yeah.
super.
My sports is
There's
bigger than yours.
Right.
super cool mods for lightsabers. There's literally a mod that it flickers
interesting.
on and off constantly.
Right.
So when someone catches, they're like, "No, wait, what a second," and then you go
Oh,
through. Like
right.
there's so fun ways.
that's crazy.
So yeah,
you can't
one
block.
one of them's down.
All right,
Beautiful.
So I'm relying on you, Locke. I'm gonna, like, yeah, I got one.
Don't get cocky, kid.
There it is. Thank you. God. Thank you.
We've been waiting forever.
Yes, we waited so long for that moment. Oh my God. Okay, you guys have a good night. I'm done.
Victus is like, I'm tired, guys. My back's sore from
I did
carrying
it.
this ship.
All right, later, guys.
I got one.
All right,
That was awesome, Ty.
This brings up my last enemy ship. I still have the black from your piloting and their shield.
I'm not sure why you get the black. I just kind of made it up. You're going with it. I kind of like it.
Well, I would assume because you got the black from your
Maneuver.
your maneuvers,
Oh, maneuver.
your talent, right?
Well, my talent makes it to where I don't suffer the black that you're giving me.
Oh, okay. So I don't have a second black. All right, yeah, get that filthy thing out of here.
It's
Let's
awesome.
eat this. Ooh,
It hasn't done a sneak video. I thought it was great. I didn't know.
I thought you had a talent that
No,
does
the-
because
so
some
you-
talents do
You
enforce.
force the black on me, and my skilled jockey
like,
removes that black.
To give a comparison, anybody without any talent in combat can drop prone. And when they drop prone, they get a black on all range attacks made against them. So that's kind of sort of what I was thinking, was he was flying erratically. But the downside to that is you get a disadvantage whenever somebody gets an advantage if they're making a melee attack against you because you're laying on the ground, so they can just come up and squash your face. But I don't know what the ship version of that would be. Like you're piloting erratically, but we have a black when we shoot, maybe.
All right.
Well, they basically got the angle on me, so it was opposed to black, but still jockeyed against it.
No, I thought that was one of your skills. Was
no, skill jockey negates one black dice.
it
It's
negates
opposed
the
on
black?
me.
It doesn't add a black.
No.
You know how you can tell if there's a pilot in the room?
No.
Don't worry, they'll tell you.
That's right.
Pretty
That's
good.
right. So one of the funniest things at Dundercon when you get people that run around and you get the guys that wear the steampunk stuff. There was this guy who had all this old flight gear on. He had the goggles, he had the hat, he had the full suit on, everything. And he's walking around. He's like, yeah, these weird spectacles. He was all steampunked out, but he was a pilot. Well, these two real pilots came in and they're getting a room, right? And they're and he walks in and he's like, oh, hey, one of my own, right? And the two pilots looking at him like, what the fuck? It's so funny, dude. They were real pilots. They were real commercial air pilots. They were in uniform.
Oh, okay.
Right, and he came up like, hey, you guys, what LARP are you in? Right?
What? I went United Airlines. That's my LARP.
It was so funny, dude. It was so funny the way they looked at him. They're like, look at this guy, dude. They had no idea what the hell was going on. It was late at night. There were a bunch of gamers walking around. Just this weirdo comes around the corner like, hey.
That's awesome.
It was really funny.
All right. So what ends up happening is that so as you guys made the turn, Locke shoots the first one. There's a loud boom explosion, but the ship's there. Locke shot first.
Lock hit.
Lock shot first.
Locke shot. Sorry, I'm catching the
Actually,
scene.
Victus shot
Disabled
first.
the second
but-
one.
And then
You shot first.
You shot first, then Victus
shot
blew
first.
up his side. So the third one, the one who landed the hit, who's still farther back, seeing his ship's friend get disabled.
You bugging out?
No, what you do see is you hear on your radar a strange whoop 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 whoop. And you're like, oh shit, missiles are incoming.
All right, I'm gonna dodge those missiles.
So, but pause. As you were kind of beginning to barrel roll out of it, they turn past you and double back around as they have guided.
I'm gonna dodge him again, dude.
Sadly, it does hit, and I deeply apologize.
I'm gonna bring these babies in closer and have them hit the enemy ship.
This one does hit. This one, so
So can I use a force point to go first and try and make a maneuver? Or, I don't know,
This
maybe
has already
there's
happened.
This is his
Getting hit
attack.
by a goddamn
So
missile?
because how the missile works is if I
definitely want those
miss,
missile
I have
launchers.
guided
Don't let it
3,
hit the
which
gunner
means as long as I
5.
miss, I get to roll again.
Nice.
Up to 3 times.
Up to 3
We want to
times. if I
salvage
can
the
beat.
missile launchers and put them on our ship.
Yeah. The problem is it's slow firing, so it means I have to wait a long time to fire a second one.
Right.
Because pretty much it has to reload, but it does hit. I did get 3 advantage,
We're
so
hitting
I'm
the missile.
activating again a critical wound on your ship. Use these D20. It's mechanical stress. The ship or vehicle suffers 1 point.
Chris,
of
I need you to
system
fix something
It was
else.
3. What? 3 points of damage. So essentially, how this would look as the missile comes out, you dodge it, it turns around, it blows up, and essentially, you guys feel the shake as the explosion hits.
What the hell, Six?
What ends up happening, Gris, while you're sitting there, the system begins lights up, boom, powers down. As you're like, I got the ship. Damn it. What'd you do?
Can I know what kind of missile? Because I
Yes.
really really love that kind of Star Wars Trekkie stuff.
So this was a forward-mounted concussion missile launcher.
Ooh, I love those.
Fire arc forward, damage 6, critical 3, range short, breach 4, blast 4, guided 3, link 4.
Yeah, we're gonna scrap
Those are so
it.
sick.
We're gonna get those. Yeah, those
so
would be good.
breach 4.
They're meant to blow up before they even get to the
so
ship so that the shockwave.
It
Nice.
ignores 4 points of soak damage of your hull soak.
Yep.
And it
That's
deals.
all we got.
Yep.
Yeah.
The blast does. There's no one else, or well, actually.
I'm in pretty close to
Oh,
those
cool!
other enemy
My
ships.
guys suffer its blast.
Yeah, so, yeah, I was in pretty
because
close.
you're riding close. My ally suffers equals to 4, so it's my ally suffers 4 damage as he's caught in the explosion.
You got him to shoot
I was
each
gonna
other.
pop the other one. They were like,
Cool, really cool. Didn't think about
You're a
that.
better pilot than I realized. Look at that.
Yeah, so you guys take 6 damage, no soak.
Wait, we took 6. You said it took 3.
You take 6. It criticals at 3. No armor reduction because the missile exploded through your armor.
Exploded before it.
Yeah,
The
shockwave damaged it.
That is cool.
It is pretty
That
dope.
is actually
As-
really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, super fun. All
love
right.
the cool,
Like all the
as he
insides of the
fires
circuit boards
that,
and everything just shit shook.
he is realizing that Yeah, that's, you know, maybe he shouldn't have fired that. As you backwards on the comm, you see the guy who's like already blinded gets shook again, and is like, it's like whoop 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 whoop. As he's like, what the hell? What did you do, Bantha Poodoo? And you hear like, sorry.
So the guy that had one hope on
just
did it
found
blow that ship up?
Oh, it has 4 left. It's sitting.
The one that took 12?
The one that
No,
Ty
no,
shot
was
is the
the
one
one
that
further away.
has...
Because
The one that took 12. It was.
that one's gone.
That's the one on the top.
Okay, that was
Yeah.
maybe
Veer
right.
off.
Yeah,
Well,
he's-
it's off,
it's
it blew out
floating.
some
It's
lights.
floating because it's sitting on one. This
Okay,
other
yeah.
one was doing well, but essentially he blew
Alright.
up through his ally shield and is causing like damage to his own ship.
Nice.
So he's just sitting there like he pretty much got pepper sprayed and then punched. Actually, not punched, baseball. That's closer to what happened here.
Now, can I make a second attempt at repairs or not on the shields?
So you've already tried to repair them
This
in
round.
this round, correct?
Right. But I'm saying we're coming.
Next yes.
round. Can I
you,
try?
You
We'll
can
make you
continue.
first.
Yeah,
Next
you can
round, for
continue
sure.
to do it.
Yeah.
Okay, so back up to the top. I'm gonna say that's my one ship that's started before you. Yeah, let me see if he can pass this fear save. Dying in space is terrible. Dying in space is real not.
What?
The
What
only
did,
thing
what
to
did you say?
fear
Can't hear
is
you.
Fear itself.
I like the way they did in Star Trek, where I think it was the one where against the Romulans. It was the first one, I think, the first Star Trek, the newer ones, where it blew out the side of the Enterprise, and like people got sucked out. It was quiet. It was all.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
That was horrifying.
it's
Yeah,
it's
that was
terrifying.
scary, dude. Yeah.
It's like people just chilling in their cabins. And
Just all of a sudden, just
Oh, now I'm dying. Look at
done.
that.
Yeah, you implode, right? Because the
That's
pressure,
the,
dude.
the
Yeah.
horror of serving on a spaceship.
Coy said it right.
Like,
So everything
That's
in
why I will
space
never go
kills
into
you.
space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could do everything right, and it has nothing to do with you.
Yep. He is going to start trying to move out as he's like, you can see, Locke, as you're kind of like getting your focus back, you can be like you hear him kind of like, you see through his mask as he's like, not worth it. As he's turning his ship around, he's activating evasive maneuvers. As he is trying to avoid incoming fire, collision, or other calamity. It upgrades the difficulty dice for all attack made, so it turns a purple.
See, I like that. Now let's see. What is that? How do you get
Basic
that?
maneuvers.
So it's one of his. It's a pilot maneuver ability. So he's trying to bogey out. You can. He has his. It's what is it? It's 4 aft. So he has his aft exposed to you as he's trying to like slowly list to the left.
When you
Six.
have a, when
You
you
got
have a
anything
moment,
on
I
the
want to take an
screens?
action when it comes back around.
Yeah.
You got anything on the screens down there? So
who wants to? So it's
little
back to your
splotchy up
turn
here.
because my guy cannot repair his ship.
I'm going to ask one question, and it's very important. What's the silhouette of their ship?
The silhouette of this ship. This is a silhouette 3.
It's silhouette 3. Perfect.
So who wants to go first, guys?
Victus is going first, and then Gris
Oh
is
yeah,
going,
no,
and
let
then
Locke
Locke
Gris
is
go
going.
first.
All right.
So now-
Who wants to go first? We're going.
I cannot repair hull damage present. Correct.
You cannot repair hull damage with your current tools. Your foam can repair hull damage because you have liquid steel, pretty
Can
much.
you do that from the inside, or do you...
Depending on the damage, he could do both. Essentially, none of your damage has... Your ship has not experienced enough critical wounds to have damage inside of it.
So I think then I'm just going to go back to trying to get the shield back.
Yep.
So my roll plus what?
So this would still be the 3 purple because you're still getting shot at, you're still being tumbled around.
Okay.
You are using your tools.
And the tools were plus a blue.
Yes. Fix it, Grist. Fix it, Grist! Just like fix it, Felix.
Yeah.
Net 0.
Grist.
I'm running out of silly string. I need more cans.
So I think the system's shot. What do you want me to do now?
Look harder.
No shit, it's shot.
Hey, I can go push the buttons and just shoot shit in space. Why do you come down here and deal with this?
guys, I imagine it's like, just connect the wires. All right, but they're all gray. Which one connects to which?
Squibs are colorblind. They're all gray.
Who's going next?
So you were unable to repair the ship. As,
Victus.
Want me to fly now?
you want to fly or have Victus? Because Victus, remember, is on the other side because you turn the ship this way to shoot 2 people.
Well, then maybe we need
So
to
you need
pilot
to
first.
you need to
Want me to pilot?
level it back out, and then
All right.
Yeah.
Give me a clear shot on this guy, 6.
you need both of them to see
So we're
this other
piloting.
ship.
I don't have any blues.
Bring me in close.
All right, so
I just say over the
I'm
top,
going
bring me
to
in
gain
close.
the advantage. So this action reflects the constant frantic give and take of a dogfight between small craft like starfighters and patrol boats or high-speed vehicles such as spare speeders. It allows the pilot to gain the upper hand on a single opponent so that he positions himself for a better attack during the following round.
Yes.
So I makes a piloting check. The difficulty is determined by relative speeds of the ship. So I believe I'm one faster than them, right? Because I used the punch it. Or I used
Your punch it was only for that turn as you did it. Because remember, you're constantly.
Okay, so my speed is 3.
My guys is 5. They have fighter ships.
Oh, they're 5. So let me see here. Then maybe that's not. Initiating ship speed is 1, lowers 2. Oh no, I don't want to do that then.
Yeah.
So then I want.
We're not going to catch him unless.
He's slowing down to essentially evade. He's going agile, or he's just barrel rolling.
Correct.
Starfox, do a barrel roll.
Go barrel. Barrel.
Fox, help me!
Okay, so.
Davanti, help me! Man, that third pilot's doing real good work.
All right, so I'm going to do stay on target.
Okay, you're going to help your team. So you're going to turn it so both turrets,
Yep.
and then you're going to do stay on target.
So it's against what? Two purple.
It's still,
right?
yep, it's just, are you skilled at piloting?
Of course I am.
Yep.
Okay, so I've got one success.
All right.
I got one
so
success.
as you kind of roll your ships of both, you're kind of angling it, and you're kind of just weaving your ship like you're trying to match your movements to his. All right. So that was Grist. Was 6.
Victus.
So Victus, as you can now see the ship pull in, you see it's trying to flee combat.
Bring me in close. And I like stand up in my seat, like put my hand against the glass, and I want to use force move, and I'm going to put all my strength into it because with my 3 upgrades I put into it, I have strength times 3, which allows me to move silhouette objects of 3 or lower, which size of a Rancor, also silhouette 3.
Size of a fighter.
Roll that dice and tell me how many points you get. So you got 1 point. So you were activated. It's already going.
Yeah.
And you only have
Can we burn
Force
the
rank
light
1.
side?
force rank
So
1.
it's 2.
You got 2, and then but you're going to activate. How many upgrades do you have?
I only have the 1 upgrade, but that upgrade is up to strength 3.
Perfect. So it automatically, as we talked about earlier,
Right.
upgrades to 3. So you just needed one of those 2 points
Yep.
to get it to 3. So, all right, tell me what your upgraded 3 does. Allows you to move Rancors
Or yeah, exactly. So
or smart starships.
Yes, I'm going to grab this starship and.
But you did also use a white.
Oh no! I hate happiness.
All right, so
It's obvious
build
what the
me.
dice are telling us about your character.
Yeah.
Victus is that guy
He's
who's
a
like,
redemption arc.
yeah, he's an anti-hero.
You're like you tried to be a bad guy, but you turned out to be a redemption arc. and
No,
there's nothing you can do about it.
I'm a bad person. Yeah, you murdered that serial killer. No, because I like murder. Yeah, because you like murdering murder. No, I'm not a good person. Stop doing
But you
this.
saved 100 lives by stopping his plan.
We're gonna commemorate you and build an orphanage out of this. No.
Oh God, it's the episode, the Jane episode from Firefly.
Yep.
So
Are you using my dice or Barry's dice?
I think I'm using your dice.
cool.
Yeah, I'm
So
using yours.
build me the
This
scene,
one's-
Victus.
So Victus is going to not aggressively, but like softly put his hand against the glass and just kind of close his eyes and focus for a moment on the starship getting away and kind of block out all the screaming and the yelling and the klaxons wailing in the
Faster,
ship.
6, he's getting away from us.
Exactly,
Come on.
exactly.
That's
That
one that
one-
was really wounded, right? But I wasn't trying to get. I was trying to give a better shot for one of
Yeah.
the less wounded ones,
Yeah.
not the one that was at death's door.
He's getting out of range. Oh, wait, but the one that was escaping.
The one
Right,
that was
the one
escaped
that's at death's door is...
is
Oh,
that's,
oh, it's
no
gone.
the one that's escaping is
just-
the one at death's door.
Okay, I'm not
He's-
chasing
he's
that
tr-
one. All right.
The
We have more immediate threats. We have
The-
2 that are still firing at
you
us.
only have one that's left.
Okay.
Because one's wounded. That was the one that Victus shot.
Yeah, the
that
other
he was
2 are
facing.
disabled.
That's disabled. The one that's disabled is trying to flee, and the other
Right.
guy who's actually been hitting you is further back because you pushed past him to get to these 2.
So which one did Victus
So
grab?
are you grabbing the one trying to flee, Victus? Because you
I figured that was the only one within range
yeah,
for me. to
that's-
grab.
yes, he would be the only one in force range. Because unless you have
No,
a
I don't have
range-
range.
Yeah, so
it
then
has to
he's
be
the only one
close.
close.
So now, how does he work against the engines of?
Well, that's what you're going to describe to me. How
Right.
does that work, Victus? 'Cause
So-
you can move Rancors.
Right, exactly. But if the
But
Rancor's
Rancors
fighting
with
me,
jet engines is a
right,
different
exactly,
story.
exactly.
Propulsion, yeah.
Right.
Yep.
So like at first so first of all let's address the fact that I have to use a
It's like when Darth Vader was all.
Yeah.
It was
I-
Darth Vader there, you see.
I think you should use the light side point. I don't know that this is going to be possible without using the light side.
Correct. So I agree. Instead of aggressively grabbing, he's kind of like I put my hand against the glass and visualize like moving the ship with the palm of my hand and kind of take them like I was saying, I'm closing out all this sound. If it were a movie, there'd be all this, and then it would just slowly fade.
Woo, woo, like that music they play. That
Yeah.
woo, like
Yeah.
the sound like the whale cry or like the little flitting
Sonar.
sound like rays that doo-doo-doo.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, I like it. I like it.
And I'm going to, my intention, now if I do anything that's not actually happening, please stop
Yeah.
me, but I'm going to slow the ship down as it flees, and as its momentum slowly comes to a halt, I want to start rotating it towards us, and kind of, and not so it's pointing at us, but just so it's kind of perpendicular to us, and just start bringing it towards us.
So
a little
doing
bit.
like this.
Correct,
Okay.
exactly.
So doing like a parallel pull. Okay.
And
Yeah.
then my intention is to have it attached to our airlock so that we might be able to take this person captive and find out what's going on. It's my goal. Whether that lines up with what's going to happen, I don't know, but that's my intent.
I like that. I
Yeah.
really like that. I like the use of the ships. Like the team got this lined up, wounded it. I like that look. And essentially that is how strong Victus, this moment is clarity for you. Like as you're kind of hitting, battle seems, here's the funny thing, even though it's a light side, battle does seem to be where Victus gets his best points at. Because when you're just doing force to do force, you only ever get like one or two. So I would say essentially, yeah, you reached out and the ship, like you see it, like the pilot's like sitting there kind of like trying to figure out what's happening as the ship's rattling, creaking. He's hearing his own little like whoop, whoop, whoop. And then he doesn't realize, but it's stopped. And we would be hearing that dun, 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 like the music as he's kind of realizing that it's beginning to turn.
What he can only assume is like a tractor beam or something like that.
As he's like hitting, pulling like thrusters, like flipping buttons, trying to figure out what's going on. As you just see it on your radar, on your own ship and own radar, you just see it like docking, and you can hear your ship's like docking, airlock docking sequence begin to activate. As
Right.
it-
Who activated that?
I was about to say I don't know if I can activate it, but I'm gonna let Six know,
Oh.
Yeah.
like through grid to like Six, I'm pulling in the ship, let it dock.
Okay.
If we want a prisoner.
yeah.
We still have a thing shooting missiles at us.
Yeah, you can see the guys like sitting there hitting, and as he's kind of realizing what's going on, he's like, yeah, he didn't come prepared with a gun. He didn't come prepared to have a shootout fight in space. He thought his ship was going to do good
Doesn't
work.
even hold out
I was
blast on
like,
his ship.
I'm like,
What
he
a
does have an
novice.
ejector seat. He doesn't want to use it.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Guys,
the
let's go. All right, so that leaves one other ship. Locke, you are our last one. Do you want to try to shoot it?
You've got advantage.
So
All your
Locke was
stuff-
flashbanged, and then like so the whole thing is just white suddenly, and so then as soon as he comes back to vision, and I start to be able to see like my target in the space around us, I'm like trying to square in on this one guy that all I can see is his thrusters like taking off away from us, and then suddenly I just
You see him like
I see him, like,
struggling, and you're like,
stop
wait,
and
is he like
shake and-
flying backwards, like moonwalk flying backwards? to
Yeah,
you?
I'm just like,
and then he
what?
turns.
and I'm like I
And you
rub
can
my
see he's
temples because I
panicking.
think I'm like concussed or something for a second. Shake it
Remember, the
off
one
and-
that I stayed on target was not the one that.
Right.
That this is
But
his.
I'm getting there, but I don't.
Yeah.
I'm not. You know, right now I was trying to shoot the guy trying to get away, but suddenly I'm seeing that's no longer a concern to have, and so like I wheel around in the gun to search for the
See the guy that shot the missiles at us. Yeah.
Right.
guy
the
who's shooting
source
the
of
missile,
it.
who's
Yeah.
been doing well.
So all of your dice are upgraded by one.
Yeah.
On the
All
scope.
of my dice.
It says all combat checks from the vehicle or a vessel executing this maneuver upgrade the ability dice in their dice pool once.
Yeah.
So one
your-
green becomes
one
yellow.
green becomes
Okay.
yellow.
Wow.
Oh,
cool.
gotcha.
Okay.
So
That's
it's
still really cool.
So it's
Yeah.
still this distance is farther, so it's a 3-point distance because he is further away than your close range guns. He is a 3 distance, so 3 purple.
three purple.
You get to upgrade one. You get to upgrade it to another yellow.
Blacks and blues.
He has
I don't-
one black because he still has a shield. You still have a blue because your team has been giving you bonuses.
All right.
Blow him out of the sky.
Lock on target.
So I got
Yeah,
two hits, no
hits.
advantages.
Two
Two
hits.
hits, no advantage.
So
Okay,
6 damage.
so it does 6 damage. Remember, every hit above 1 adds another damage. So is it 7 damage?
7.
Extra successes cause extra damage.
Yep.
Oh, gotcha.
And how do you get the link? That's
Yeah,
with
yeah.
advantage.
He needs the 2 advantage to link.
Yeah, I
so
didn't
7
achieve that,
damage.
but I did get 7.
Boom. As you kind of turn your turret, you kind of aim, and you're like, this is kind of like the equivalent of like when cowboys like lean, like hip lean their blaster pit, like their rifle or their revolver. You're like,
Yeah, I'm
gonna
squinting,
ball,
too. I'm like-
yeah. You're ballparking this,
Yeah.
and you hear da-doom, take off as all of a sudden you can see you get the confirmed as it hits against it. You can see in the distance the ship like shields activate, the explosive hits, the thing kind of like vibrates. All right,
He
So,
also,
like,
he
while-
also
and
gets
so-
to add a die, when shooting me because I'm so focused on, I've dropped my, I've exposed my flank or something like that, you know.
Oh, my guy does. Oh,
Yeah.
So
yeah, yeah.
in my vision, like while this is happening, like I'm shooting, but there's also like the ship like literally floating into us. So I
Yeah.
mean, Locke is
Yep.
going to yell out like, "What's going on up there? Is this guy going to hit us?"
All right, and as that kicks off, can I flip over a black token, please?
Oh no!
All of a sudden, you again see on your sensors, weep, 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 picking up as, foom, foom. You see 3 ships come out of warp.
What?
Hyperdrive. Sorry, out of hyperspace.
What universe are we in?
We're both. It's merging. Oh my god.
The Enterprise.
It's Captain. Captain, this is a logical.
It's a crossover.
Got you. We're all gonna play Star Trek now. No, so as you exit hyperspace, 3 ships exit hyperspace. These ones look different. They look sleeker, definitely better cared for. Think more like a
Triangular?
triangular. This is not Naboo fighters.
No, I thought these were more. I was thinking more like Star Destroyers kind of thing.
Oh no! These are smaller. They're fighters.
Okay.
It's hard. The only reason that you picked them up is because when they exited hyperspace. But what you can see is think kind of like a teardrop, where the bottom teardrop is actually
A-wings?
glass, and there's 2 wings coming from the bottom
Jedi
of the teardrop.
starfighters.
These are not. These actually have the beautifully painted Black Sun symbol on them.
Oh.
As they come out, they open full barrage onto the one other ship that was shooting at you that Locke just hit. This thing explodes as these ships quickly move into you guys.
Just got my vision back.
Are moving up to you guys. You hear doo-doo-doo-doo, like on your comms as someone's trying to hail you.
I open up the comm.
As you do, you see a black leather vested Rhodian with this brownish red, or not Rhodian, Deveronian. I hate it because I get them. Yeah, Deveronians are the like devil ones with the horns.
Oh, okay.
Has the 2 horns pulling up, his like sharp teeth and yellow eyes looking at you, very like demonic. I see we took care of the trash for you. Are you the ship that our tracer's at?
Quite possibly.
I see there's a little leech on top of your ship. You want me to clear that for you?
Please.
Excellent.
Nobody likes a leech.
Kill my ship.
As the ship begins to
Chewing on the
dock,
power cables.
No, he's talking about the ship I'm pulling in.
he's asking.
The salvage.
Oh, that thing.
He's
huh?
gonna
Salvage
blow up-
you wanted.
He's
I was
asking.
thinking you
there's someone
salvage.
attached to the ship.
As you do, like you're like okay. As you do,
Oh, that leech. Boom.
yeah, boom. As this one goes off,
My bad.
My connection with the warp is just, or the force is just severed.
as you get kind of a kickback as they blow it up, and they're like, "Sorry if we singed you a bit."
You know, I think we're going to be all right. I'm going to need to land for some repairs. Perhaps you could help out with that.
That's exactly what I'm here for. I was directed to come and pick up the person carrying the comm beacon. Clearly, there's some business propositions that needed to be made. Follow us to the coordinates, and we'll make sure that you're taken care of.
I guess we'll follow.
As you're
They're
kind
all
of
escort.
yeah, as they're listing, they give you the coordinates that you received from the previous comm device. You guys enter hyperspace, go through. They're keeping a like gridlock around you. They're not linked. If you try, are you going to try to hail them or do anything while you're flying through hyperspace? Just like
I'm not going to, no.
good. Yeah, I wouldn't talk to
alone, yeah.
people. As they warp out, you've been traveling for a bit. You realize as you enter, your ship gives your astrogation charts new directions. You enter.
How long is it?
How long being like time and
How long do we have to follow them for?
as you are kind of following them, staying in hyperspace, how it kinds to link is you pretty much set a coordinate and you're kind of riding on a freeway. Exiting out is something that you kind of have to plan at certain intervals because a hyperspace lane is there to keep you away from getting pulled into stars, planets, and things like that.
Fly too close to a supernova.
My question is:
Yeah.
Is this 5 seconds, or are we in here for 50 minutes? Because if
Yeah.
it's 50 minutes, then we role play this.
Right.
out.
Yeah,
That's-
I'm you realize that it's going to take about 15 to 30 minutes. The coordinates they given you are getting you closer to 20. They seem to like, and they are sticking close. You can tell based on your sensors that their weapons are locked on you. If you try to like throttle down out
Oh,
of
they're going to hit us
hyperspace,
at the speed of warp.
they're going to hit you at the speed of warp,
No
and you know
way.
you will become glass. You will become you will become like a shotgun spray of bird pellet against the universe.
Okay.
All right, well, keep it the way you're doing it. This is common here. I don't know what you're doing shooting up there, but I've almost got it done.
Oh, yeah.
Roll.
I'm really concerned. I'm really concerned about the horrible work that's been done to the ship since I took the
What? Who did horrible? What
since
did
I
I
took the
do?
gun.
It's all in one piece.
The second thing I want to do is, once I realize what's going on, Locke wants to remove the improved power cell from his jury-rigged carbine, and he wants to move it over to his slug thrower.
So wait, what are you moving over?
So,
Right,
like,
because-
literally, like, I'm coming down. I'm going to check out the mechanics.
Yeah.
The area wherever Grist would be working on the shielding components or whatever, or sparking.
Come here on the
Yeah.
gun.
And I'm coming in with my slug thrower, and while I'm walking in, I'm like literally like,
What do you do with the gun lock?
yanking off the.
I
I'm
swear it
yanking
was a
off the
joke.
power cell from my carbine, and I'm starting to wire it into my slug
All right,
thrower.
I'm not working on it right now. I like my
don't know.
hands are close to my gun at this point.
Like, slug throwers obviously don't shoot just power, so what
Yeah.
I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to, like, power up the propulsion mechanism to where, like, it shoots the same slug, but it shoots it way faster.
You are
So, like-
jury rigging your gun.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, he's pretty much telling I'm going to show you how to fix this problem.
The gun's not for you, Grist.
What? I back away from the shield unit. What's it for?
I'm looking at the shield unit. In what state does the shield unit appear to be in?
Damaged and inoperative. What the
hell did you do to this
what
thing?
it looks like is essentially, I imagine Grist has been like unplugging, plugging,
God,
like
okay.
taping up. So essentially, he just like he has like some I
He's
imagine
going
stuff to like a
touchdown.
wall
I'm pulling out
and
my
labeled
spanner,
like
I got
A.
my gun, my slug thrower in one hand, and I'm, like, sitting here trying to, like, undo the damage that he's done.
It's like labeled A, and you're like this part, and like the parts that are connected, you're like good, and you put green tape around
exactly.
it, and you're like
This
this
is
is
what it used to look like before.
yeah. He's
I'm
pretty
getting
much
there.
He's pretty much
Give
putting
me
a
a minute.
broken vase back together.
In the heat of the moment, okay, get the shit together.
Yeah, the beautiful part is it's a much easier repair now.
So do I get another roll?
If you would like to roll while he's sitting there.
No, I'm assisting him, or I'm
Okay.
I don't know, whatever's best. We're going to
yes,
try to
well,
fix
If
the
you
shield.
can grab those over there and hand them to me.
Yeah.
the,
yeah.
the
I need the
difficulties
blue
for
one,
this-
the green one, and not that green one.
Bring me
The
the
green one there.
triangles.
I
Yep.
need I need cyan green,
can roll
and then I
with
need the
3
desert
intellects.
tortoise. It is only a 2 purple now because you're not in combat.
No, take that there. No, undo
no
that.
black
That does
because
not
you
go
have-
there, Grist. God.
You're still using your
Well,
tool.
it fits.
And if he's assisting you, don't forget that you can use some of his dice.
I did.
He used my
Oh, actually, no,
intellect
that's not
and
as bad
his,
as I thought. That
repair.
is 2 successes.
2 success.
Well, see, this is what you can do when you got help.
loading my slug.
What are you doing with the gun?
No, it's just focus on what you're doing there. Don't worry about
I am. I'm fixing it. Just want to let you know.
Not the
I'm
red
fixing
wire,
it.
the blue wire.
6, if you're at the cockpit, all of a sudden you can hear the whoop as your shields have engaged. Your shields are back
Nice,
online.
good job, Chris.
Thank you.
I told you I could get it.
I figure I'm like a compartment away,
Essentially, yeah, because you're the
like
Rosenroth has
around some.
the
you know,
Rosenroth.
half
Do you
wall.
actually have the picture of the Rosenroth, the inside? Because that was such a cool layout.
Yeah,
That's such a
I
cool
want to see
thing.
that now.
Because we can kind of talk about where you are in location and see. Essentially, this is the cockpit. Let me see.
Oh
where
yeah,
you-
so he's way over there, and we're all on our own in the main saucer.
yeah. So essentially, let me see. So cockpit here, up
Yeah.
at the cockpit, and then you went down across the boarding area, and your engine or your shields. Sorry,
So he was
turrets are-
already kind of like
Yeah.
right above me and
Yeah.
below Ty.
Yeah, but I mean, as far as distance, what is that? 15 feet?
Oh, I would say it's equivalent from like here
So
to
like a silhouette 3 is a Rancor, and we're a silhouette 4. So like a silhouette 3 is probably this big. So that's probably a Rancor's width.
Well, this is
That's a unit. Yeah. A
How many
silhouette 3 is a
Rancors are we
Rancor.
away from?
guys. We're not the we're not the U.S. We don't measure in like it's about 5
We're three-
bald
we're-
eagles to a freedom.
We're about 3 Rancors wide, I think. Like
No, this is actually a lot bigger because essentially this is 1 square is equal to
It's not perfect science, okay? Right?
1.5 meters. It's more than 26 meters.
What's
we have
this
a
R
scale
measurement, Rancor?
Yeah, essentially.
well, they
you're-
measure things from BBY, which is just Battle of Yavin. So, like, if you're going to measure things from a specific battle in years, why can't you measure size from a specific creature? I mean,
Apparently, it was a significant,
essentially
event at
you're
the time.
like almost
a
an
Rancor's a
apartment
very
over.
significant
Like
creature.
you're moving from it would be from like this room to like outside to like to where the garage is to almost in your apartment's like next side. Like you're
okay, so like 5 Rancors.
Rancors are pretty big,
So
man.
like
Rancors like the size of this
15
house, aren't they?
feet, 20
Well, it depends
feet.
on the age of the Rancor. I mean, no, they're not the size of the
think of your actually let me think of football field because that's
they're a
easier
lot
for me
bigger
to
now.
think of.
The
That one
ship's
in,
the size of a
Return of Jedi.
football field?
No,
Seemed a
not
lot
that
bigger.
big, but it's easier for me to give you because when
course
you say
it's
when I
not
think
upright,
feet, like
yeah.
feet are very
Yeah,
bad
when it
for
stands up, it's
measurement.
probably
I am
15,
yards
20
away.
feet tall.
Yes.
Yeah, like
All right, so we are
two
talking.
Rancors could
Yeah, we're
fit
talking in
this
Rancors
area.
now.
Yeah, you are talking in about
Side
a
by
Rancor.
side.
How many
Yeah.
Rancors?
Essentially, you can fit 2 baby rancors. Thank you. And that's just in one loading bay. There's a whole nother loading bay
I
to
remember
fit.
we got a whole thing of cows in here. So
Yeah, you can fit.
Basically,
Actually, based on this map, you can fit
Nerf.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Nerf, live it, play it.
You can fit
Scruffy
up
Nerf
to
runner.
5 baby rancors in.
Okay, thank you. Now, how fucking far am I away from the bridge?
Why?
You guys finally become Rancor farmers.
You're 3.5 rancors away.
Farmers.
Why do you need to know what's going on?
So it's about 20 feet.
Yeah.
All right. Well, because
Yeah.
6 was speaking, I don't know if 6 is doing it over the intercom. Or
It's
down
you're
the
essentially
hall.
like talking
I'm
over an
thinking
intercom.
down the hall.
No, you're essentially talking over like a short range
Yeah,
intercom.
it's an
Okay.
in-house intercom.
All right.
ICS.
Very good.
Yeah. Why that nice music plays in the
Really
background. from
simple
that.
question.
I'm sorry.
So anyway,
Distance is
so
a terrible
I
thing.
basically I slammed the front of the unit shut.
Like Iron Eagle, I play that,
That's
that
dealt
rock
with.
music in the background anytime we're flying the ship.
I mean, it's got a scale on here, but it says 1 square is 1.5 meters, but there aren't any squares.
Squares. So I'm having to like
It's a pretty good sized ship.
it's a fair sized vehicle. Like
What's a
if
square,
if
though?
you if
Like
you compare
captains-
to like some of the images in there, you're like, okay, like that's a speeder, and so we know a
Yeah,
speeder
it's
is
a pretty
this.
good sized ship, and they've got a picture of it in here.
If I'm understanding this right, though, it is 26 meters long.
Like 2
Yeah.
squares is
Yeah.
just the captain's chambers.
Yeah.
Which is like only 15 feet.
we should
So
get
it's
a,
about it's 3/4.
We should get a
It's
sand
78
crawler.
feet wide.
we should get a
Okay.
sand crawler. That'd be sweet.
Just put a rank
Can't
Yeah.
fly a
Yeah.
sand crawler.
You can't.
Yeah, if you have a good enough mechanic, you can make anything fly.
Challenge accepted.
So yeah, I stand by 2.5 baby rancors.
All right. So I've got it done. I closed the cabinet. I walk back up to the bridge.
How many rancors of weight are we?
God, it measures in tons.
No, we do that in
Cool diagram.
stones.
Yeah.
So now,
It
where are we
measures in
going?
Boots.
When do we get into hyperspace?
We're following these guys, so
Oh, why?
I assume they're taking us to discuss the particulars of our agreement with the Black Sun Syndicate. Remember, we sort of took over
I thought that was a joke.
administrative responsibilities. No, I don't think they were joking.
Yeah. while they're talking, I'm literally loading slugs and
It'd be
fixing
interesting to
my
see what they
slug
have
jar.
to say. Now, as far as my background goes, what do I know of the Black Sun Syndicate and how they relate to my own personal background?
Well, I remember that, per your own knowledge, you took your family's pretty much heirloom
Yeah,
ship
right, yeah.
to leave because you're like, I don't want to do
I ran away
daddy's.
from home with
yeah.
the family jewel.
Yeah, I don't want to be a
I took
daddy's
Dad's
little.
Corvette out of the fucking
Yeah.
garage and it bounced.
I'm
I'm a
assu-
smuggler. It's awesome.
Yeah, I'm assuming you kind of like met some local.
We had
people.
Black Sun come find me. What a dick, dude. See why I ran away from home?
I thought you were already
My dad's a
affiliated with
My
that.
father was a noble.
Yeah, I thought you did some work with them.
I thought you did like they got you started smuggling training because they're like you pretty much pulled up in like daddy's
Right.
Corvette. And
Basically,
they're like,
got the Reavers from Guardians of the Galaxy showed up, you know? Okay.
yeah,
They're
and
like, damn it.
they're like, that's a nice car, and you're like, I can fly it, and you probably did pretty well enough for them to be like, all right, we'll take a faleen in and like a cool like smuggling vessel, like because they know like you said, most species know faleen to be like charismatic and charming because of their pheromones. So they probably used you to smuggle a lot of goods and were like, we're going to teach you to do this. And then however you left them, and I'm imagining based on Six's independent attitude, she was pretty much like, you guys are slowing me down. Like,
I mean, I probably was supposed to like show back up somewhere at some point. I decided to go do my own thing.
and so you just kind of left them in the way.
Even I get bored sometimes.
And so, yeah, you're pretty much done with them. So you would imagine that you left them
Yeah,
on
that's my old
not
crew.
the greatest terms,
guys
but
will be
not the
there in a
worst.
couple
They may know your ship's ID. They may know
They probably
who
do.
you are, and so that could be a problem.
You've
So-
never heard of the Rosen Road?
So as you guys are going through, what is Victus doing?
Oh, you guys haven't heard from Victus since the ship blew up.
Yeah. I was wondering.
Does anyone care about Victus?
Yeah.
Let's just answer this
It's
right
all
now.
right.
Victus naps.
Locke's focused on what
Victus,
he's doing.
roll
I'm probably
me.
gonna find out. You start, calling for Victus. Victus, you good?
Now, Victus, roll me a.
My thought process is that I'm unconscious. That's at least my
You know what?
role playing wise.
Let's test this. Victus,
because
give me that.
I was in a deep moment of trance, and the Force isn't just a force; it's a life force, And there's a creature in there that I'm like spiritually connected to, and it just blew up in my like very fragile state of moving it, and that got severed very quickly.
You just woke up to sleep. Wow.
Give me a resilience check.
Okay.
You were connected to the Force in a very deep moment, using a lot of power that you were untrained in.
What am I rolling against?
I want 3. Give me, I'm going to say 3 purple.
Okay, I got 3 green.
Because you were untrained using a deep connection force. You pushed yourself farther than you've ever pushed yourself.
It's true.
And you were using...
It was the heaviest thing I've moved.
And you were using light. You were drawing from a different source than you normally were. You really left yourself
And it got
mentally...
severed abruptly.
Yes, I think that's a fair...
1 success, 1 threat.
Okay. So you are unconscious, but you are able to kind of like feel... You're having that like disembodied feeling. So this would be the equivalent of Victus. Victus, you're having a vision.
Oh, God.
As you feel weird, like your body's heavy, like sleep paralysis. It's hard to move. What would be your first response to that?
My character's it would be fear, because it reminds me of the before times, which is one of the reasons he's so angry, is because he lived a life of fear, and the fear is what drives his anger, which drives his strength.
Okay.
So his first initial reaction would be fear, because he's afraid that he's entrapped again.
As you hear that, as Victus begins to feel that fear, you begin to hear echoes in the distance of screams. Some of them sound like men and women and children in the distance. It's like almost reverberating back and forth, that like that echo.
Yeah.
And then you hear one closer to you, and the voice sounded recently familiar.
Okay.
What would be your next feeling?
I would call out to that voice and be like, who are you? How do I know you? And I'm assuming I'm not seeing anything. This is
black. This
right,
is
just a void.
You are in a void. Your mind has not been able. The disadvantage is your mind has not been able to construct a visual representation of the force in front of you.
I'm gonna yell out then. Who are you? Who are you?
The voice doesn't seem to respond to you, but it does begin to say something different, where it's like, "No, Commander, I'll get on it right away. Yes, understood." As you hear like what sounds like a calm, like hollow, like power down. Yes, all right. As you hear a button, all troops prepare to head out. We're hunting. As you kind of hear like the sound of leather creaking, as though like someone's riding their hands behind their back, like clenching to de-stress.
Yeah.
And then it goes silence. As you are still feeling this heavy feeling,
Okay,
where would you go next?
Where would I go next?
Or like, what is your next emotion, next thought?
My next thought is
Mishole.
So next thought on Victus's train of emotions would probably be frustration. He's helpless. No one's paying attention to him. No one's respecting his authority, which is the only way he draws self-confidence. And it's gonna be anger. It's gonna be just yelling in frustration. I have no control, and this is his fear.
Okay. Would you say that this is like he's falling back on his what little training he did get, so like a discipline? Or is this more like a personal, it's just his own anger, so like a resilience?
This is his personal. As much as I would prefer to do discipline, this is his personal thing.
Okay.
Because
give me...
he's trying to put his training in his past, and he wouldn't rely on that.
Okay, give me another resilience check. Add a blue to that previous resilience check. Add a blue.
So still the 3 purple then.
Yes. Cool. As your body is trying to connect this mind.
4 success, 1 threat.
4 success, 1 threat. Nice. As that happens, as you begin to feed on that anger, light appears out of darkness. It almost is like you're falling or flying. You see like what looks like a distance zooms towards you. What you see is you feel heat immediately and begin to feel like you're choking, like there's smoke. Clearly something's on fire, and when you look around, you see what looks like a starship. This looks similar to when you first escaped and woken from your carbonite sleep. This room feels familiar, looks familiar, but something about it is different, as even though it's hot, your body begins to feel like a cold sweat over it. There's a presence that you feel coming towards the door entrance.
Is there fire in this room?
Yes.
Okay.
Not a large blaze, but there's enough, like you can tell a panel got blown out, the electrics are caught, it's going to start spreading.
I'm going to look for I can physically move now.
You can now physically move.
I'm going to look for a piece of metal or something to use as a weapon, because I know something's coming, and my first thought is to protect myself. So I'm going to look around for like a piece of metal or a pipe or something that I can use.
There is like broken panel, broken wall. You can find a piece to pick up.
Yeah, I want to find a piece. If it's just like a shard of something,
Yeah.
I just hold it so like the sharp end is coming out of the bottom of my hand. And
Kind of
exactly.
like a shiv dagger, yep.
Yeah.
As you do, when you turn, you hear the sound of a door not whooshing open, but a familiar sound of as something is beginning as you look and turn towards it. Not being pulled, but bent inwards, like someone is crunching and pulling it
Oh my
back.
god.
Put yourself.
As that does, that cold sweat begins to kind of become more, and you begin to feel that presence on the other side almost become to overbear on you. And as is the door is about to be ripped open, you hear a loud scream. You hear this almost mask covered like yell of pain and anguish as you are forcefully kicked back into your body in the seat. You literally like jump out of it.
What? And I see we're in hyperspace. I'm like I've got drool on my chest. I'm just like, what? Hello? And I'm gonna like hit my comm bead. Hello?
That's you, Victus?
Yeah.
Double lost you. You taking a nap down there? You all good?
Yeah, I'm fine.
All right, we should be coming out of hyperspace soon. We're meeting with the powers that be.
Okay. Can I turn it off?
As that happens and you guys begin to gather and prep yourselves, you hear the comm go off and indicate that you're going to power down, that you're here. You guys exit hyperspace, and you see as you gain your senses and look around. The stars are different, but your astrogation system tells you that you are in the RETEP 5 system. And what you see before you is a large asteroid, gutted out to show what looks like a starship landing at the bottom. Think of like a floating kind of like broken egg. You see other ships kind of circling it. Someone has turned this asteroid and hollowed it out into a starport. And you hear over the comms, enter in Hangar Bay 1 and we'll meet you. And that's where we'll draw for tonight.
Nice.
So I want to point out, Ty, that to like Locke, one thing I realize is that Victus is like totally a victim of his own success to Locke.
We don't have time for another one.
That's fair.
Thank you for joining us on another NCRP Productions podcast. We couldn't do this without you, so please like and subscribe everywhere we're found, including YouTube, Facebook, Anchor, Google, Apple, Spotify, and other great podcast sites. If you'd like to help us continue making more content, we'd love to have your support on our Patreon. And if you have any feedback for us, please feel free to comment on our podcasts or email us directly at ncrpproductions@gmail.com. That's ncrpproductions@gmail.com. And we'd like to give a special shout out to our current patrons, MD Parker 4, Chef Francis, Crowman 76, Loading Mad Cat, M. Coling, November Stevenson, and Rosix 13. Thank you all. We truly, truly appreciate it.